Hello, listening people.
Hello.
You're listening to Spit and Polish Presents Unappreciated Masterpieces. I'm Ryan Sliwinski.
And I'm Bartek K.
K? You just want to leave it at K?
A. S-P-R-Z-Y-S-Z-A-K.
What does that spell?
Fucking, there's only two vowels in there. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh, fair
They're
enough.
both A.
So, we're Spit and Polish, likingly, because we are both always spitting, and we are both Polish, obviously with last names Sliwinski and Bartek. Not your most common names, very Polish though.
And Ryan.
Definitely. And what we do on Unappreciated Masterpieces, for those who are not in the know, is we find those gems, those magnificent movies that aren't completely remembered, but aren't completely forgotten either. The ones that leave an aftertaste in the mouth, and the films that we think need to be talked about. We find something within them, because the thing that always draws my attention to filmmaking and story creation is someone created this. Someone came up with an idea one day, and they took that idea further, and time was invested, and money was spent, and energy was put in. But unfortunately, the product did not gain the attention from the audiences that we think that they deserve, these movies aren't completely terrible, but they aren't considered to be the Oscar-winning classics, even if some of them have Oscar-winning actors in them.
You know what, I liked what you said in there, Ryan? It was a bit earlier on, but you mentioned the aftertaste thing. I really like that, because I think that with these movies, they are the type that leave an aftertaste, but you don't necessarily think that you need a mint afterwards.
That's exactly it.
There are a lot of Oscar-winning films that afterwards you
Yeah.
It tastes good, but I think I need a mint.
Yeah, Moonlight, I need a colonic irrigation after that. You're right. It's that kind of thing. So, what movie would we be covering on this episode? For those who can't read the title of the movie that we have in our title for this.
Guys, would we be covering? Will we be covering? We will be
How
covering
will we be covering? I don't know.
together.
Oh, good. Teamwork is an essential part of this.
We always do it together, so, just letting everyone know that some things never change. The movie that we are doing today is a 2010 classic, everyone. It's Wybuchowa Para.
Oh! I remember 2010. I don't speak Polish, which is what I'm imagining the language you just spoke at me with. But I do remember 2010, so let's flick through the year that was 2010 and what
Google
movies
Hollywood
they could have been.
films 2010.
Could it be Night and Day?
It could be, because Wybuchowa Para translates to explosive pear. But yes, that is the localized title for Night and Day.
If there was ever a film that defined 2010, it was Night and Day.
Yeah.
And that is right, 2010's Night and Day with Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz, who is a regular on this show by now.
Oh, this is her third time, I believe.
Third time, and you know what they say? Once, twice, three times a lady. And we are joined with a lady guest for this episode. Is that not right, Bartek?
Is right, yes.
It's a woman who's not been on this show before. A blonde-haired lady. Could it be Cameron Diaz?
Ryan, you are the silly. Our guest is not Cameron Diaz, it's Alarna Summers.
Alarna Summers, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. That was the best segue ever.
Yeah, you know how it is. You look very much like Cameron Diaz. For those who can't see her, she's blonde and goofy. That's the kind of aesthetic that we're going for.
Spot on.
What do I look like, Ryan?
You
Cameron
look
Diaz.
like later on in Night and Day, there's a bit.
Am I one of the Spanish
I was really
people?
thinking about it.
There's a bit where they go in a train,
Yeah?
and there's this elderly.
You'll have to point him out for me.
There's this elderly chef who gets stabbed in the back by an assassin.
Oh, you ruined the plot.
You're him.
Oh, I like that character. That's
But
good.
with the knife
He
in.
is friendly. He
But
offers
with
her water.
he offers her water.
It's very friendly.
Okay, so guys, what you have to do is calm down. It's okay. We're gonna get through this.
Okay.
What you guys have to do is get your legal copy of the 2010 classic Night and Day. Night spelled with a K, of course. Ready, because what we want you to do, if you can, I know some people might be listening in Uruguay who don't have a copy available and they just have to stream, and that's fine. Or there's people listening in New Zealand, and that's fine.
Or if you're in like Switzerland where it's not illegal to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
then yeah.
you get you whatever you can. We recommend legal because we want to support the creators of content here.
Tom
And
Cruise needs more money.
Always.
Cameron Diaz needs a career. She hasn't acted in 3 years. So, one of her last films was Annie. So, get your copy ready because you're going to play this along with us. We're going to do a countdown. So, when we say play, that's when you hit that play button. All right, so we're going to count down. So, 3, 2, 1, play.
Relay.
So we are 2 seconds in, and here's 20th Century Fox, Alana. What does 20th Century Fox mean to you?
Oh, everything. 20th Century Fox is just iconic.
It's a news corporation company.
But how many
It's
years,
both
guys? How many years?
20 years.
75. See, that's why we
My
chose
answer
it
didn't
purely.
even make sense.
Because of
My answer was 20th.
20th
Not
anniversary. There we go.
Not even 20. Just 20th. Regency, we've already talked in our previous episodes
people
about
who
how
don't get
Regency
it,
sucks.
The 20th Century Fox logo then panned up to 75 years of...
But I went gut
Yeah, if
gut
you're not-
first and went 20th.
Thank you for the number, Ryan. Just a number.
So, James Mangold
Aptly titled name.
is famous for directing many great movies, such as Walk the Line,
Oh, I love that.
his remake of 3:10 to Yuma, and this.
I've seen this.
Obviously on the same.
And I've seen this.
on the same
They're all on the same level.
level. Yeah.
Now, Alana, you're a first-time guest on this show.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm imagining that you got a lot of stuff going on inside after having seen this movie. Now, we've all seen this movie for this show, but here's the question. Have we seen this movie before having seen the show? What's our history with the movie, guys?
No, my first watch was today.
Had you heard of it before?
I had heard of it. Yeah, I remember the DVD cover from when I worked at Blockbuster.
You worked at you worked at Blockbuster?
Yeah,
When this
so-
came out, so Blockbuster was dying already. So
Yeah.
you really wanted a career ahead, didn't you?
Yeah, so
You
I
were there when
remember
it was falling.
the DVD cover of this film. It was kind of a bit Kanye and Kim-esque, facing each other on the motorbike.
Yeah,
shooting
yeah,
guns.
that's exactly what I thought when I think Tom Cruise paired with Cameron Diaz. It's like Kanye and Kim.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
a real common.
Are they even still together?
Yeah, they have a kid, don't they?
I think they
Northwest?
broke up.
Northwest.
I think they
Northwest.
broke up. I don't think you're up to date. So,
Gotta research that after.
so you at least knew of the film. Bartek, what about
Yes.
you? Before me having to say we're doing this film, have you heard of it? What's your history with this?
No, I hadn't heard of it, but I was talking to a friend of mine and I told him, yeah, we're doing Night and Day, and he said, I remember the cover for that one.
Everyone remembers the cover. The thing that I remember about this movie is I had never seen it, but I had heard very bad things about it. And the one thing that I knew was this. Cameron Diaz is at some point in a bikini and he's on the beach, and I thought, is this a movie? And all I knew was this: she's a spy and they're at the beach, and I'm like, oh, is this whole movie about them being at the beach? And I'm wrong 100%.
Well, I think that's appropriate because when I was YouTubing stuff about this movie, one of the first results, it might have been the second or third one, was, you know, the Movie Clips YouTube channel?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It was of
My
that
favourite.
scene.
that scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
where she's like, did you molest me,
And
basically.
as I was watching, I was hoping someone would actually bring up the fact that she's magically in a bikini. And
I really
Yeah.
liked that in this scene here, Alana. She got a smudge on her face.
me too.
And
Where did
that
come
really spoke volumes to her character. At first I thought it was going an interesting direction where it's like, no, that's not a smudge, that's a bruise.
from? Bum,
And I thought, oh, is she a victim of abuse?
yeah.
But no, you know what she is? She's a woman who really likes cars.
Yeah. It was,
And Alana, you're a woman who likes cars.
Allegedly. I can see a
love cars.
forehead.
I love cars.
When you go through the airport in America after 9/11,
Yeah.
It's very easy to get on planes through security when you have strange metal objects in your carry-on suitcase.
Yeah, objects that could definitely be considered weapons as well. Like, they're black poles, these things she's carrying.
Would you consider that the unfair gender balance of, like a man, in this world, a man can't just walk into the airport with mysterious metal objects, but a woman can. Do you think that this movie is commenting on the unfair sexism towards men?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think they're really doing a good job of investigating the hypocrisy there.
Speaking of genders, guys, I think we should come to our first quiz question.
Oh, Bartek's found a quiz for Night and Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but I found a quiz, and this one had 25 questions. And
Can I ask one thing?
Yes.
Does it actually spell night correctly?
I believe it did.
Oh,
yes.
good. Because there is, in fact, a copy of the poster of this movie for one of the international countries where it's still written in English, but the K is removed.
Okay.
Can I just really quickly interject to say, what an excellent foreshadow. Sometimes things happen for a reason. That bit. Whoa.
Yeah, and
things happen.
An excellent piece of foreshadowing is the guy that's about to get on the plane that just went in front of her is one of the main antagonists of the plane fight sequence that we're going to proceed to see. So that's excellent.
Yeah, yummy.
Yeah, very, very
Now, Bartek, hit us with a quiz right in our face.
Right, so this quiz had 25 questions. I believe I got 21 correct. So that's good. That's
So
pretty
you
good.
fucking sucked at 4 of them.
I got the top tier of you got
Okay, so
20, 25.
so hit me in the face.
I
with your
picked the
quiz.
top 5, my favorite questions.
Great.
Yeah.
The first one is actually the first question of the quiz.
Oh, good.
Going through airport security at the film's opening,
June.
June reveals that she's carrying in her bag. Now the answer is car parts, but
The specifics.
but the other options are office supplies,
Could be.
precious gems,
Definitely.
or a vibrator.
For her sake, I would love for it to be the vibrator, but
Well,
I just
that
don't
feels
think that's
too
correct.
too much like real life Cameron Diaz. Like we all know Cameron Diaz is a sex fiend. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no what an interesting camera thing that he
I know,
has.
yeah.
I wish satellites could do that. So now Bartek,
Me.
you knew very little about this movie.
Yeah, I knew who
You knew the
leads were.
cover, and
My friend knew the cover.
Alana, your friend knew the cover, and Alana, you knew the cover. Did you get what you were expecting, out of the very little that you did expect coming in? Because I knew it was a spy movie. I knew that.
I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So, was it a real surprise when Tom Cruise started just fucking murdering people left and right? And he seemed like a complete psychopath?
I feel like-
Because I felt like it was great.
I feel like because it's Tom Cruise, it wasn't a surprise. Because
Because he kills people all the time.
Yeah, I see Tom Cruise's face and I immediately think that he's a secret agent, even if he's not.
So my two things were, before I knew that it was Tom Cruise, I took the word in the title "night" kind of literally, and I was thinking, oh, maybe it's some kind of like fantasy film.
Yeah.
But then
Period piece.
I saw Tom Cruise, Cameron Diaz, and I thought
Shooting guns.
maybe not. And then when I watched the movie, like up to this point, it kind of feels like something seedy's going on. So I didn't necessarily think that, this is just going to be all sunshine and rainbows. I think something's going to go down.
There will be lollipops, yeah.
And obviously in this bit here, they're like, there's barely anyone on the plane, and like he sometimes gives looks to them, like right now, in fact.
Yeah.
And so that just made me think, okay, well, something's gonna go down.
Yeah.
Didn't expect everyone to die.
I really thought
Spoiler
the
alert.
age difference between Tom Cruise and this young gentleman that he's about to kill, I thought, is he just looking at him like, son, don't you fail this? Like, I felt like he was like giving him a dad look. Like, if you watch the scene, he's really giving him this look like, don't you fucking fail this, okay? Like, if you
Don't
fail
ruin this
this,
for me.
if we land this plane and you fail the quiz that you're going to need to get a scholarship, I will murder you. Like, I felt like, is this some weird sequence in which she's on a plane with his like family and they're all having a feud right now?
Yeah, and it's just actually a lighthearted comedy film. This scene actually, as I was watching, I couldn't help but think it would be the perfect 2 short monologues to do for an audition. It's
actually is.
Cameron Diaz's character talking about her, her sister's wedding and her dad passing away, and
Which you
building
thought would play
cars.
into the film a bit more, but
Yeah, not at all.
it does in a montage.
But see, it's all about like
You
how
could-
her relationship.
You
And,
can adapt this to theatre.
yeah, it's a bit of like
Yeah,
straight.
I've always
intense-
wanted to see Night and Day adapted into a Broadway
Oh,
production.
I think it would be sensational.
Well, Ryan, as you can see in the title, they have night. That gives like an oldish kind of feel to it. Oldish theatre is old. You know, it all connects.
Yeah, theatre is old. You got it there.
And so is day.
Day is old.
and
Now,
he responds also with his own little like monologue as well. He
Now-
starts talking
someday.
and see foreshadow someday.
Foreshadow. It
Ooh.
really is a metaphorical tie-in. Now, here's something I want to ask you. The title. You guys have talked about the
Explosive
title
pair.
quite a lot.
Explosive pair, yeah.
Yeah, my favorite type of pear is the kind of one where you bite into it and it
In
explodes.
your mouth. Just,
Now, the title is called Night and Day. I understand why it's called Night.
Yeah.
Why is it called Day? Could someone explain this to
Most
me?
of it's set in the day, Ryan.
Is that the reason?
I don't know. I think it's just.
maybe they took inspiration from Kath and Kim. It was like, Kath Date Night. You know how that's her name. Maybe
Yeah,
it's something.
but
Let's-
her name is June Havens.
Yeah, maybe they remind her.
Well, let's think of it like this. There are two main characters, and there are two keywords in the title: night and day. So maybe night refers to Rod here. You know, his name is Rod Knight.
Roy Knight.
Roy Knight. There's a reason why I'm confused,
Isn't
and I'll
his name
explain it.
Roy Miller? And his real name's like Matthew Knight?
Yeah, Matt. No, his real name's Roy Matthew.
Is it?
No.
Oh,
There's a,
And then
Guys, I'm
his
so
name's
confused right
Knight Miller.
there's a reason why I called him
Sorry,
Rod
Ross.
by accident.
We'll
I'll
get to
explain
that.
it a bit later. But so if we assume that he is the knight of the title, then that probably means that Cameron Diaz.
Don't mess this up, son. Go on.
That probably means that Cameron Diaz is somehow considered the day. Maybe because in America June is like the summer
ooh,
month.
day June.
You know,
And-
like,
and-
maybe the sun, like day, or maybe her blonde hair is meant to evoke like the
And
sun.
I knew you were gonna mention the blonde hair being the day. But
Yeah, that's
the
nice.
weirdest
Did you?
thing, yeah, because I thought of it, and I'm like, I'm not gonna comment on it. I'm gonna
I
wait
just
for
thought of it
Bartek. I know, but I was just like, Bartek will get it if I don't say it. And you know what I think the answer is? Someday is very important.
Because it
in
rhymes
this-
with Sunday and sun.
I'll be honest.
It's like a whole.
But day and night, and the whole thing of someday really plays into this. So maybe that's like
Yeah,
it.
nice.
I love Tom Cruise's face there. He was just like, "Son, why aren't you helping me?" I really wanted this to be a movie about Tom Cruise being a disappointed father.
I feel like right before this is actually a really uncomfortable moment where she says she's going to go to the bathroom and he says, I'll help you.
Yeah.
Does anyone else find that a little bit weird?
Well, as a man, I don't find it weird because I feel like
I'll
I
help
would
you?
assist her to go to
But
the toilet
it
because
just
it's Cameron
seems like
Diaz.
a weird phrasing of the words. Like you would think you would say, "Oh,
But
I'll
no-
walk you," not "I'll
I'll
help
walk
you."
you like a dog.
I'll escort.
That's what he said. I'll escort
No,
you.
I love
yes.
the fact that she has to adjust her boobs because we've talked about Cameron Diaz extensively on our show. She's appeared several times now, and I have to bring something up about Cameron. Is she is an attractive woman, but what I really liked about her in this movie, Bartek, Bartek, in this movie, what I liked about it was she wasn't movie pretty as she was in, say, The Green Hornet. In The Green Hornet, she's fucking hot. Like, I mean, uncontrollably in an unrealistic sense. In this movie, and in Annie, she was on purposely made ugly. In this movie, she seems like an average woman. Like, she doesn't seem like movie pretty to me, and I find that refreshing to see that because Tom Cruise is the movie pretty one in this movie, and I just find it refreshing that she does that, adjusts her boobs, because Cameron Diaz doesn't really have boobs. Like, that's the thing that we all go, yeah, Cameron Diaz is more like the slender legs. Like she's the legs woman with the, and her ass is all right, but it's like because of the legs, and she has a nice face and hair, and but it's
Yeah.
not the boobs.
And she was
never
in
the
Shrek.
boobs, huh?
And she was in Shrek.
And of course that.
Well, that gets my heart on going as soon as you mentioned Shrek.
Well, she didn't play Shrek, Ryan.
Yeah, Shrek is love.
She played Shrek's
Shrek
wife.
is left.
she played female Shrek.
Yeah, she did become an ogre.
Did you know that in Shrek, the first one, during the day, she was human, but during the
Oh my
night-
god, that's why it's called Night and Day. Because during the day, she's
Because she's
human.
a different person.
And then
in the
during
night, and the
night,
day.
she's inhuman.
And then in
Love
the
that.
sequels, she's the same during
And
both.
that's why Cameron Diaz gets knocked out all the time in this movie.
Yes.
Because if she's awake during the night, she turns into an ogre. There's very few scenes of her during nighttime in this. Like, there is one that's
hello.
about to literally come up, but Ignore that because there's a fire that happens.
They're just kissing right now, obviously.
Wouldn't you kiss him?
Well, yeah, but actually kind of no. But I find this kiss really uncomfortable. Is it just me?
I find it really uncomfortable that he's
He
clearly
doesn't-
standing on a box because Cameron Diaz is a tall woman and he's a short man.
But then you also get, as he moves away, the shot is really bright, and so you can see the moisture left on his mouth for a really long time.
But he was already really
Oh, look,
sweaty.
he's short now. Oh, no, never mind.
No,
That's pretty
she's
gross. See,
short.
look at the lip moisture.
Yeah,
Look at it.
but he's sweaty.
Enticing.
But in his defense, his forehead, he's very sweaty in the scene because he just murdered everyone.
Yeah, true.
Everyone.
Yeah,
But Ryan, he
literally
was
everyone on
trained
the
to
plane.
kill his emotions.
No. That's
is a
something
bit
I want
Born
to talk
Identity
about.
kind of, like-
Talk about is it's a spy movie. Are we?
I'm very good at I Spy.
Are
yes.
we good at I Spy? I Spy with my little eyes. Something that starts with C.
Samarin Diaz.
Close.
Close.
Close, yeah.
It's Glenn Close. You got it. You nailed it. How did you know she should have played? She should have played Tom Cruise in this because
Oh,
she
that
looks
would've been
so
great.
much like a man nowadays.
Well,
Glenn
Ryan, he
Close.
I
wasn't-
love Glenn Close.
He wasn't the first one cast in this role, right?
No, Adam Sandler was.
Oh,
He was
that would have
considered.
really amped it up.
And he would have been doing the whole movie on the beach.
I think though, if
Like,
they
he's
had,
like, I'm not getting off this beach.
if they had Adam Sandler, they would have had to recast Cameron with Drew.
No,
Like
no,
the other Charlie's
because I swear Adam Sandler, has he not been in a movie with Cameron
Diaz.
Diaz?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Do you want me to do a
But
quick
no, in
Google
all
for
fairness,
that?
he does like to have attractive women in all of his movies. Like in
Drew
Click,
Barrymore.
he's married to Marissa Tomei,
Oh,
and you
babe.
know, he's not always Cameron Diaz. I mean, it's not always Drew Barrymore, but they do have the best chemistry.
And she's also a babe.
She is a babe in a realistic sense as well, because she's got the doughy face. It's, you know, like Cameron Diaz and Drew Barrymore, I can see them competing for a lot of the same roles because they got this like genuine
Charlie
nature to
fingers.
them, and they're both
Sincere,
comedically talented. I was saying to Alana before we started this, I was saying I really think Cameron Diaz is the real strength of this movie because I think she's much better suited to comedies. I think that she is a comedy woman. I think she's really suited to it. She just has a clown face, which I quite like. You know, like look at her. She's very clowny.
Open mouth right now really helps.
Yeah, it makes you want to put like the little ping pong
balls
balls
in
and then
the mouth.
get him.
And then my dick, you know.
Ryan Sliwinski.
The balls first.
Ryan Sliwinski in her dick. Yeah, right there.
Ryan Sliwinski was a reference to a few episodes ago.
So, are we familiar with spy espionage movies? Are we fans of them? Have we watched many?
I watched Spy recently, actually, with Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, so that's a parody of spy movies like this
bloody
is.
great.
But have you watched genuine spy movies like your James Bonds, your Jason Bournes, your Mission Impossibles, obviously?
I've watched all the Bournes.
A
Not
Damon fan?
yeah, I love my dad.
Damon.
But
So,
not actually.
a fan of him, yeah.
No, a fan of the James Bond movies.
James Bond. What about Mission Impossible? Ethan Hunt, man. He
haven't-
lowers down on a rope and there's like dun 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 dun. I can't do the rest.
He
of it.
doesn't do it. But the
No,
music
he does it. Tom Cruise demands that he does it.
Okay, so it's non-diegetic.
So I think, Bartek, what about you? Spy movies?
I like the genre, and I've caught a few movies from every one of the major ones, except Bourne. I think I've seen maybe two or three James Bond films. I've seen. When I was in year 11 for media class, we studied The Prisoner, which is a TV show.
Yeah.
Played video games that had spy themes, like Metal Gear Solid 3, Destroy
Yeah.
Humans 2.
Yeah, and you know what I love about the spy genre? I'm a fan of it. I've seen many James Bonds. I've seen the Bournes. I've seen some Mission Impossibles, not all of them.
I've seen
And
4.
what I
maybe,
love
at
about
least.
the
Yeah, same,
what I love
actually.
about all of them is the spy genre never takes itself too seriously, and that's why when you have a parody like this, in comparison, say something like Spy or the Naked Gun movies, which are more detective movies, but like or you know
Austin Powers as well.
Secret, you know.
Shirt off, shut. Just sorry, I just wanted a moment for Tom Cruise with his shirt off.
Yeah, I don't really care for his body type, to be honest.
It's very strange, isn't it?
It's very short.
But he's pretty ripped.
Yeah, but he's ripped, but it's like a potato is ripped. You know what I mean?
Like you've carved it out.
You've carved a potato. But what I like about the spy genre is they don't take themselves too seriously. Like a James Bond movie is funny at the end of the day. Like, you know, when he gets the girl and he has a martini in hand. So when you make a movie like this, it's very hard to win over everyone's love, because when you parody something that's already somewhat silly, you have to go way over the top, like you do with Spy, or you do with, you know, Top Secret and all this kind of stuff, like, and all those. Well, when you have a movie like this, which is kind of more a grounded comedy that is a lot more subtle in its satire, it doesn't strike as hard for most people. Like, they're like, well, James Bond would kind of have this silliness to him, but, you know, that's what I think could be one of the fundamental flaws of this film for the general going audiences. What do you think of that, Bartek?
I guess when you look at the different types of movies and the types of cheesiness that might come with them, you might describe the spy genre cheesiness as a bit more charming.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you know, I love, like, it's like Simon Pegg is in the Mission Impossible movies, and you just go, yeah, that seems right. You know what I mean? Yeah, that seems accurate. So we haven't talked about the real star in this film, Viola Davis, who recently won an Oscar.
Viola Davis.
It's great to see Oscar-winning actresses in in films like this before they've got their claim to fame. And in that regard, like, Viola Davis has always been around. She's always just been in everything. And it's really great that this movie both has Amanda Waller from Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman from Wonder Woman in this one movie, which is great because Viola Davis is playing a CIA operative agent in charge, like she is in Suicide Squad, and Wonder Woman in this movie is playing like a secretive foreign woman, like she does in Batman v Superman. So, is this in the same universe? Can Tom Cruise really stop Batman?
I don't know. I think it's possible. I think he's...
Well, who's more charming, Ryan? The spy
Tom Cruise or
guy or the
Batman?
not spy guy? The detective guy?
Batman?
Yeah.
You're saying he's a detective in the Batman v Superman one? He's more of a murderer.
Yeah, he's more of like not
Oh,
Batman.
yeah, you are.
Yeah, he's
like an
more.
anti-Batman.
You know what I love about this? She wakes up, he's cooked her breakfast. She doesn't eat it, but the thing is,
yeah.
it would have been cold.
Yeah, and it kind of looks like really not appetizing.
True, but at least he put it on the stove so you can just turn it on.
True.
No,
Yeah,
have to
but-
put it on the stove.
Yeah, but like heating that up on the stove, it's not going to work.
Well-
Hey, I'm a top secret spy that wants her not to spread information about me. I'll make sure that I put post-it notes reminding her about
Right.
my existence everywhere.
Exactly. Also, this interaction really is the best rejection ever. It's such quality.
No.
She just fully ignores him, basically.
Alana, you're a woman of the night. How many how many male suitors have you had to reject in such a fashion?
Thousands.
Thousands? Is there one that
Thousands,
really
just like
particularly
this.
stands out? Like when you had to get engaged to Rodney the firefighter?
Yeah, actually, Rodney the firefighter. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Me and him had a really long relationship, and it was the same kind of rejection. It was really awkward.
You know, he was just too good for you, but he wasn't right for you.
You know, it's the classic failure of the nice guy. You know,
Like I've never met any of Alana's boys,
Suitors.
but I know that none of them are right for her, even if they are good guys. I mean, I've never met them, and if I did for a split second, I think I would have that judgment.
Yeah, oh,
That's wise,
comforting.
because I know deep down I'm the guy. She
Yeah.
can never have me, because I'm a
course.
top secret agent of Spit and Polish,
Yeah.
a public access, a
know,
public
it's the-
like a podcast that any member of the public can access.
It's the horrible chain reaction though. So like Rodney is that to me, but then I'm that to you. So that's
yeah.
just
And I'm
you
the
just gotta
gadgets
reject people
guy.
all the time.
What was that?
I'm the gadgets guy.
No, you're the bullet that goes through Rodney's leg for when I shoot him.
It's alright. You make Rodney famous, so it's fine.
Yeah, you make Rodney a hero.
Hey.
You lift people up.
Bartek, yay.
He's kind of the reason why I got
Roy
Roy's,
confused.
because of one of the quiz questions, which I thought I put down, but I put down the wrong one about
Oh
him.
no.
Basically, that question was asking, what did Rod do after he left the cafe, you know, with the gun on June's
He tried
head?
to save her. He got shot.
Well, no, the thing is that the quiz mixed up the two.
No!
Did they mean
Because
Roy?
the question, the question.
I mean, you know, the D and the Y aren't that close on the,
The question
keyboard
is, what
either.
did-
so-
what did
Always look
Rod
for the
do
details.
after he left the cafe? And one of the options was shoot Rod. Obviously, it wasn't the answer. The
Very
answer.
well done.
Oh, wait, no, that was the
No,
answer.
that was the answer.
Sorry.
No. What he did after he left the cafe was move 1 foot forward, 1 foot forward.
That question was kind of clever because one of the things was that he handcuffed her, but that was something he did before the cafe. So it's something he did, but not after he left. So you have to read the question.
I have two really important things about this scene. First off, I think it's so great to see him in a different role, so not
Yeah.
playing the villain.
Yeah.
It's really. I usually see
You did
him
watch all of this movie,
as.
yeah?
No, I'm sorry, I'm confused. You never see him. I guess as the villain. Like,
Peter
he's just such
Sarsgaard,
a-
yeah, you never see him.
He's such a good dude. Like
all of his family are good dudes. I
Yeah.
think his brother or another Skarsgård is playing Pennywise the clown in the new It movie.
such
So
good dudes.
they're such good dudes. Such good dudes, you know, like great guys.
And also, I feel like this not just connects to the DC universe, but also to the Taken universe. Because if you noticed before, her sister April is Liam Neeson's kid.
I thought you were gonna say it's Liam Neeson.
Well, no, it's his daughter that gets taken.
wedding.
So maybe this tells us that after the next Taken, Liam Neeson dies. Because the dad's dead in
God.
this movie. Holy
In
shit.
Forkin.
Yeah, that blows your mind. So
Wait, what-
Cameron Diaz is the forgotten child. in
What,
Taken.
guys? What did he just say?
He said safe.
Guys.
Fuck.
Safe
Question 6 of the
multiple
quiz.
times.
Question 6.
It's Roy warns June about people introducing themselves as federal agents, especially if they repeatedly use words like
Safe.
Stabilized.
Stabilized.
option 1, safe and secure,
This is true.
option 2, duty and obligation,
This is not true.
Duty.
option C,
Asperger's.
health and livelihood,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
option D, trust and patriotism.
That's hard.
That's a fucking hard one. That's fucking hard. I think it's duty.
I think it's duty, but I don't remember the other one. I think it's just duty.
That's why the question gets a bit squishy.
I just like the idea of repeatedly saying words like health and livelihood and patriotism.
Did you just snort? You know that we're gonna emphasize that on the
Oh, no,
podcast.
please don't.
We're gonna make a remix
Hey,
of her
Ryan,
snorting.
let he who's never snorted make the first laugh.
We've all snorted,
Ah, sweet.
but not like a pig, of course.
It's like what Jesus said. Wait, that was what Jesus said, right?
Thou shalt not snort.
No, that was Moses.
Oh, shit.
Let he-
No, you're thinking of Samuel Jackson in Pulp Fiction when he reads his quote from the Bible. It's like, and you shall know that I am the Lord when I lay my snort upon you.
And you will know that you have to let he who has never snorted make the first laugh.
Now, see this here? That
yeah.
kid did something very interesting. He handed him the toy that he later puts the battery in.
Ooh, the Hungry Jack. What did she say?
The-
Burger King?
A good burger? I can't remember what
A
one.
burger.
White Castle?
I think it was Burger
Apple
King.
and
Yeah, Burger King. So I didn't realize that until the
What is it?
second viewing that kid, because I just was thinking to myself, I remember this. What did he do with that thing? Like, why did they emphasize that? And it's smart. And this is a great action sequence that's very realistic. I mean,
Yeah.
he got shot in the face just then, but he's fine. This movie has a lot of people getting shot or stabbed in the heart.
I think
and they're fine.
They also, their dialogue is very, like, original. So we just had their, you have to let go, June. I can't let go. Like, it was a really kind of nice
Yeah.
metaphor, I think, for their... Just...
I was saying this to you before
Her-
the show. Like, Alarna was saying, let go, Ryan, let go. And I said, I can't let go of how good this movie is.
So
Yeah.
let me get this straight. Let go, can't let go. Handed the toy over. He's holding on to the car.
with his hands.
His hands.
Are hands a motif of this film? Right?
Well,
Oh,
people do
whoa.
have them.
Shit,
So
reminds-
you've noticed
there are
that.
4 on screen right now.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, we don't know that.
4 is death in
Well,
some
technically it was
countries.
only-
Close-ups
3.
on hands. More hands. Handling.
It's like a media class.
Yeah, this is
No.
hand on
Here's
the-
here's the interesting thing about what
Hand
was the
close-up.
director's name again? Mangold.
Mangold.
Mangold, yeah.
Mangold. His
that a real
films
name?
have I think it's pronounced Mangold.
Oh, yes, of course.
Mangold. Mangold. The thing about Mangold's work is, I think that the recurring theme is people have hands. Now, I haven't seen
you're
all
right.
of his work, but it's like how Tarantino always has feet in his movie.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy always has hands, which is very interesting to fathom. Now we haven't talked about Tom Cruise as much as I would like. Now, What do we think of Tom Cruise in general, and in this movie?
That's rough.
Be honest, you know?
Well, a lot of people, let's say 50% of people might, let's not put numbers here. I think there's a certain group of people who would first jump to his religious affiliations, and then there are other people who would jump to his action film star affiliations.
Yeah.
Hard
Where
either
do
way.
you jump?
I'm more so on the religious one because I haven't seen as many Tom Cruise films, but I have noticed that when I do see Tom Cruise films, he's really good.
Yeah,
as a
so
lead.
you like him as a performer, but you're more questionable of him as an individual.
I'm not saying I'm more interested in one or the other. I'm just saying that I've been exposed more to those kinds of Tom Cruise stories than movie stories.
Fair enough. Lana, what about you? Tom Cruise?
I think
Is he a heartthrob for you?
actually in one role, he is.
Tropic Thunder.
Well, there's two roles maybe, but no, the other one was in Rock of Ages as Stacey Jacks.
What a terrible film.
No, that's a beautiful
What a
film.
terrible film.
Absolutely incredible.
Sounds
movie.
unappreciated.
No, it's not. It's
it
very
is.
appreciated.
But I also actually find it very interesting that in this film, when they land the plane at the start of the movie, it's one of the first things I noticed. The guy who's driving the truck is singing along to a song in the car.
Yeah, which is a deleted scene.
Rocky
in
Like a Hurricane,
Rock
which
of
is
Ages.
Rock of Ages. Tom Cruise sings that song as Stacey Jacks. I just found that a
Stacey
nice
Jacks.
little
Connection there.
Yeah, connection.
So, but you sound a bit like you're not too fond of him?
Yeah, look, I'm a bit, a bit the same. Mostly exposed to his religious.
And I think
Jumping on the couch and
that's the
yelling,
thing
yeah.
about Tom Cruise is my girlfriend has made a vow to never watch any Tom Cruise movie while he's still alive because she doesn't like him.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
And I think that's unfair to
Okay, that's
say
unfair.
because I think you have to detach yourself from the person and the performance. You know, there's many great performers who are far more terrible people, but they aren't as hated. You know, recently Casey Affleck won an Oscar, and he's been, you know, accused and charged of, you know, sexual assault and stuff like that. But he's not getting as much hate as Tom Cruise does for someone who, yeah, his religion of Scientology is one that is a bit of a murky ground to walk on, but he's a man of faith. And I find it very interesting that we can be so against him because he is such a man of faith and it's a faith that we don't understand. I'm not for Scientology. I don't want to indicate that, but I find it interesting that we can hate someone or dislike someone because of how strong they are in their own faith. And Tom Cruise is very strong in his faith. And this was at the height of Tom Cruise being crazy as well. Like, Oprah incident wasn't too far from when this happened, when this film was created. His marriage was falling apart with Katie Holmes. He was doing films that weren't very successful. But I love this period of Tom Cruise because what I really liked about Tom Cruise in this movie is what I liked about him in Tropic Thunder. Is Tom Cruise's problem for me as a performer is he never plays outside a certain range, which is I'm the charismatic nice guy. And that's what he plays in real life when you see him in interviews. Even when he's going crazy, he still wants to come across as, but I'm a nice guy. I'm Hollywood's nice guy. Like, look at my big smile and my dead eyes. You know, like, you know, Christian Bale based his performance. Christian Bale based his performance on American Psycho partly on an interview of Tom Cruise with David Letterman. He was like, he's just so fake. And what I liked about him in this movie and him in Tropic Thunder is he's embracing his more negative qualities. In Tropic Thunder, it was so relieving to see him playing an ugly character, both physically and character-wise, where he was very angry in that movie. Because the thing
I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, the thing I like about Tom Cruise is the thing I don't like about Tom Cruise is he's a guy who's pretending to be such a nice guy, but he clearly has anger underneath the surface. Like, I've seen interviews where he has to defend his religion, and that's fair enough. You get angry about that, but he's still playing it like he's happy, but he's very, very angry. So when you see him in a movie like this, too, in which he's playing off of his charismatic leading spy type, in this first half particular, he's playing it in a way where you're not supposed to sympathize with him. You're supposed to feel afraid of him, I think, because he's playing a more psychopathic type of character. And I really appreciate Tom Cruise when he did this and Rock of Ages, where what he's doing is he's having fun. This period of time, Tom Cruise was going outside of his normal range and having fun. Tropic Thunder, I think he was the best part of that movie for me. for me. And in this movie, I think he's one of the best parts of it. And Rock of Ages, I don't really care for it, but he is pretty good in Rock of Ages.
You've really thought about this so much.
I really had to, because Tom Cruise is a divisive celebrity. He's one of the most... he's a charismatic leading man on the screen, but his off-screen lifestyle affects his credibility as an actor.
Let's just put it this way: South Park didn't just make fun of him once.
Yeah, that's a good way to go about it. Yeah, they didn't just make fun of him once.
They wrote a musical.
So
Also about...
They did.
No,
about hating religion.
not his religion. No.
No, but it links.
Book of Mormonism and Scientology are very different. But Tom Cruise, God bless you for doing this movie.
God bless you.
Well, he still believes... Scientology believes in God, yeah.
They believe in alien gods.
Alien gods.
Xenu, Zethu.
That literally came to Earth on a gold-plated
Right,
G6.
we're not talking about their backstories. We're just talking about, gods, entities, whatever.
Yeah, they came on planes.
So, alien bless you.
Should we, do a seance on someone Isaac Hayes to explain it for us?
Isaac Hayes was a Scientologist, as is the voice of Bart Simpson.
Yeah, that's true.
Isn't also John Travolta?
Yeah, he
Yes.
also flies planes, so
Yeah.
that's good, because that's
So,
the major part of their
balances it out.
religion.
Do you know that there was a voice recording of Nancy Cartwright, Bart Simpson's voice actress, who she was calling people to spread the word of Scientology, but as Bart Simpson?
Oh no.
Cowabunga, man! Don't have a cow in our religion.
Oh lord.
I think that's a thing.
Thumbs up. I really like Tom Cruise. I think the thing I was disappointed was that he did turn out to be the good guy. I think I would have liked it to him to actually be someone who's mentally impaired, living this weird fantasy that he is
Yeah,
a
a bit of,
spy
bit
or
of
he's a
Shutter
good
Island.
guy.
Yeah,
A bit like Leo.
yeah. I really like that one of the big, I guess you could call it conflicts, but things that is going on in this movie is this whole trust issue thing.
Which you gotta appreciate.
Which, yeah, especially in a thriller film.
Yeah, especially with a spy thing. It's always interesting how much James Bond has skirted by being such a deceiving asshole because he is a spy. This movie kind of plays with that, being like, no, how would you feel if you were her, the Bond girl in this regard, being lied to and used and drugged all the time? Alarna, you've taken copious amounts of drugs. When Tom Cruise slips you a Mickey...
Yeah.
And you wake up in a different country at a different time of day
Multiple times.
in different clothes.
Look, I don't think it would be the greatest experience, but as you said before, I get to see the world. I get to do it. I would assume cost free, which would be the number one plus.
Yeah, well,
So-
Tom Cruise is paying for it.
Tom Cruise is paying for you,
I'm
so
sure he's
that's
not short
fine.
of cash. I feel like the waking up in different clothes business is probably going to be the most concerning for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might.
What,
make
you
me
don't like
slightly
being naked?
uncomfortable. Well, not when I'm not conscious.
Not when
You
you're
know?
not conscious.
If I was consciously doing that with Tom Cruise, then maybe.
Well, no,
No.
that's fine. Do you want to have sex with Tom Cruise?
If the opportunity,
He'd make you do that noise, that's for sure.
if the opportunity.
That's 100% sure.
Is he standing on a
The
couch or lying
opportunity
down?
arised, I wouldn't.
He's jumping
decline.
on her.
I'm lying on the couch and he's just
You are the
Stop
couch
talking.
in this regard.
And what's Oprah doing?
Watching, she's filming.
Oprah's just watching with Viola Davis, who could totally play Oprah in a movie.
no, fuck that. If Viola Davis was watching, I would ask her to join. There's
Finger me,
She would
Viola.
not be. Oh, get a bit graphic. Nah, she would not-
So, for
not
those
watching.
keeping up at the home ground, we are about 37 minutes and 34 seconds in. Just, for you guys, we're seeing a beautiful image of Tom Cruise adjusting the back of his trousers, which always gets me erect.
aroused.
Erect.
Arouses.
Erect.
I was making a trouser pun. God.
Ryan, how are people without the pee-pees gonna,
Well,
sympathize with
I
your
think
erection?
women,
Exactly.
I think, understand erections because the clitoris can get erect.
Yeah, he makes it. He makes it. I'm glad he knows
I like how
something
you
about the
said it
female
like,
anatomy.
yeah, you're right there. You're right there.
Me,
right.
me just thinking about Tom Cruise.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
No, just erect clitoris. And an erect clitoris.
I think
Please stop.
the important thing
Do you think Cameron Diaz's clitoris was erect during the shooting of this, working with Tom Cruise, having to
when
kiss him?
she was in the airplane bathroom, maybe.
Yeah.
My nipples, they get erect too.
Because, she's, like, alone in that room, and it's kind of like a thing of, I don't know what's happening in the other room. Like, something great could be happening.
Yeah.
It's like that whole mystery. Like, do I trust that something's happening or not? Like
Hey,
I said,
it's
this
Shell.
movie's trust issues. Yeah, Shell.
My favorite petrol.
Bit of cheeky product
Product.
placement.
No, it's not. No. They just shot on location that day. So-
I like that Tom Cruise doesn't even have to unlock his phone. For it to
Well,
come up.
it's so
It's just
important
like,
that
ding,
other
ding,
people can hack into it easily and find out where his family lives and murder them. I mean,
Happens in this movie, yeah.
Does it?
they don't
No.
murder his family.
No, but it's not his phone that gets tracked, it's her phone.
No, but like at the end of this movie, spoiler alert. Nah, fuck you. At the end of this movie, the CIA people take his phone and say no more distractions. It's like and then Cameron Diaz's plan is just run away. That doesn't solve his family situation, but at the end, family does has a resolution. Has a
Yes,
resolution.
It does has. Because she gives him tickets.
It's a very
Well, they
good
do.
resolution because at one point the dad sounds a little bit like Keith David.
Black. Yeah,
He sounds black.
Oh, look, here we go.
Keith
We're gonna-
David's black.
I know.
We're going to find out where the toy's from now.
It's
That's
from
for everybody-
a
everyone
kid.
wants.
It's from a small
I'm
I'm
child.
going to guess Burger King. Oh, called it.
Well, like I said earlier, it was Burger King.
For some reason, I thought she said, instead of, I'm gonna guess burger, I thought she said Asperger. I'm like, my favorite Asperger. Now, this film has another great actor in it, Paul Dano, who is the 15-year-old scientist kid.
Fresh out of high school.
Fresh out of high
I
school.
love him.
He appeared in my favorite movie last year, Swiss Army Man, where he had to use Daniel Radcliffe as a jet ski to escape an island. That's actually what happened in that movie.
My brother just bought that. I'll have to watch it.
It's great. And Paul Dano, of course, is iconic for Night and Day, but also There Will Be Blood. And it's always good to see an actor who can do both. There Will Be Blood, a very serious movie, one of the groundbreaking
Wasn't
films.
there someone last week who was also in that film?
Everyone's in There Will Be Blood.
But like you pointed it out.
Yeah. It was in Deep Rising, the guy
2 weeks ago then.
who played Benny in the film The Mummy was also in There Will Be Blood. You ever seen The Mummy
Like the original Mummy.
with Brendan Fraser?
Yeah. Like
Yeah, you remember
ages
Benny?
ago.
You remember Benny, the guy he's always competing with?
No,
And then at the end, he gets eaten by a
Too far
sworm of bugs
Oh, there you
because
go.
he tries to get
That's
gold.
unfortunate.
Well, it is unfortunate to get eaten by a swarm of bugs. You know, that's just life, Alana. You just have to accept that swarms of bugs are going to eat you.
Yeah, it's happened a few times.
Yum.
Also, I really actually enjoy the lighting in this scene. It's very noir.
It's very
Like,
Star Trek. Yeah.
It's like the two kind of people. Like we get some lighting on her eyes, and it's mysterious.
Another
and-
scene that could be
Ooh.
good theatrical adaptation.
Yeah, you're right. Definitely. And she's kind of not sure if she should trust him. Now he's giving her this kind of perfectly logical explanation of this battery.
The car's moving,
powers
you know, like there's
everything.
lots of things going on in the
So
scene.
many things going on.
So, Tom
Romantic
Cruise is very duplicitous in this movie. You don't know what his full angle is. You said earlier, obviously, we know he's a good guy because it's Tom Cruise, but were there points where you did have doubts about him being a good guy?
Yes.
Well, that was the whole trust issue thing. Like, if you didn't have doubts, then you're kind of
Yeah,
not really...
But were there
Human.
specific points in the story for you that really got you being like, oh my god, he's a bad guy?
I would say the most suspicious parts are kind of already past, except for obviously the one where he's talking to the woman.
I think
Wonder Woman, yeah.
I think Viola Davis was actually the reason that you doubted him, or for personally that I doubted him slightly, because she's like my moral
You
high
just
ground.
love her so much, but
love
she
her.
plays evil women all the
But
time.
I just trust her judgment.
But then you are
So-
terrible at judgment.
well, in this in this
Hitler
case,
was such a
she's
charismatic guy. I mean, he sounded right about everything.
Polish
Viola
people talk
Davis
about him all the
knows what
time.
she's doing.
Polish people talk about him all the time. I mean, negative or badly, you know, whatever. Like, so what?
Negative or badly.
There's no positives.
Negative, badly, condemning him, you know.
I would trust her with my
I like this
life.
bold guy. He really reminds me of the comedian, what's his name? Rob Corddry. who appears in a lot of movies, but he's not Rob Corddry, obviously. But I would have wondered what Rob would have done with this role.
I'm sorry, that bit was like my favourite dialogue. Are you sure someone's not taking you to school? I didn't realise that was still an expression. Like, I didn't realise people said that.
Viola Davis is older than us, so she clearly still says it.
But she didn't write the script, though. So
No, she improvised that line.
Also, guys,
right,
She walked in that day and said, I don't need a script, I'm Viola
Somebody's
Davis, I'm going to
taking
be
me
an
to
Oscar
school."
winner. And they're like, okay, Viola.
And then
also,
she said
guys,
that,
in the previous shot, we passed by a truck that had HJ Rise something on it. HJ in Australia, our Burger King's Hungry Jack's Burger King toy, another connection.
Oh my god.
Holy jit.
Holy jit! Make that on the put that on the poster, right?
Holy jit.
JITT.
Yeah, God.
Right, now we know.
Holy jit. Alright. This is no time to play, Simon.
No,
Shit.
it's pronounced...
Jit is getting real.
No, it's pronounced git, of course. The J is a G in this case,
This
guys.
people's a bit insane asylum-y. I really felt bad for Simon, actually.
Well, Simon has clearly got some kind of Asperger's.
Asperger's.
He's on the
Preferably the
spectrum.
Burger King variety.
You know, he is the Asperger King. That's Simon the whole time.
It's secretly
Put
a
that on the
story
poster
about
as
the
well.
Asperger King, and I put a crown on his head, but it's made out of ass.
And
Simon
burgers.
fits the Asperger
Burgers, but the buns are asses.
They're buns.
Oh, shit. So, yeah.
Roy,
I forgot
you
what we were talking about.
fuck. We're talking about Asperger
Asperger
King.
in his natural habitat.
So, Cameron Diaz got a lot of criticism for this movie for being a damsel in distress,
Oh, my first
very
instinct.
shrill. But that's how you make a character go in a movie like this. There needs to be character development. There needs to be an arc. If she was a strong, self-independent woman from the get-go, what would she evolve into for this type of film? To the girl who gets with him, like there would be no real arc for her. And I think that the problem is with movies, we expect more, we want more, but the problem is there's reasons in storytelling why certain cliches, tropes, and structures exist, and that's because they work. And in this movie, it needed to have her be the foil to him.
And even then, it's not like they play it 100%. I mean, she does do action-y stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he has to knock her out 4 times in the movie because she's such a damsel.
Yeah,
Well,
it's the worst.
that's because she's freaking out a bit.
I think what would have worked okay with her damsel in distress, because I hate that trope, but I feel like it could have worked if they had have actually made some of her I'm a genius with car parts part of the movie.
Well, they did. She did drive.
That's true.
Really well.
She did drive for one scene, but if it had been, she didn't. It wasn't really.
She was on a motorbike at one
saving
point.
him. Like,
No, she communicated with his dad about cars.
yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that could have been more, and that would have
You know?
made her a bit more. Because, like, you see her in Charlie's Angels, and she's boss.
Yeah,
It's like such a downer to.
She's
not have
one
her
of
like that
the.
all
She's
time.
the.
Was
Can
she in
we?
Charlie's Angels?
She's the blonde one in Charlie's Angels.
She's the Farrah Fawcett of Charlie's
Oh,
Angels.
I see. Right.
She's the Cameron Diaz of Cameron Diaz in
Yeah,
that
good
movie.
point, good
Sorry, we were
point.
talking about Drew Barrymore before, and I'm like,
Drew
wait,
Barrymore was also in
She's
that
the
movie.
rock
Yeah, that's the reason. I
And
was
then
confused.
Lucy Liu as well, just because I don't know Lucy Liu well enough to go, Lucy Liu, she's alright. I liked her in Futurama when she
liked
appeared
her
as
in
Lucy Liu.
Charlie's Angels.
Cameron Diaz was the hottest angel of the Charlies.
Oh, see, I'm never sure. I love Drew Barrymore in that.
Drew
movie.
Barrymore is pretty
like her
hot,
sassiness.
but like I mean, as in visual.
And Drew Barrymore gets to get with what's his
Crispin
face?
Glover,
Sam
yeah.
Rockwell.
Yeah,
Wait,
Crispin Glover is in that movie in both of them, and she gets to get with him in fights.
I meant Sam Rockwell.
No, you meant Crispin. I love Crispin. He should get more leading roles.
Ah,
I guess another thing on my mind with this whole topic of Cameron Diaz playing a damsel in distress, it's also reminded me of another very popular character in fiction who is also always typically in the damsel in distress role. They're from a video game, not a movie.
Mrs. Hitler.
Mrs. Hitler?
Yeah, Eva Braun.
I was going to say Princess Peach, but
she fully is Princess Peach.
No, oh my god!
but here's
Mrs. Hitler's fully Princess Peach.
No, Cameron Diaz, you dickhead.
But here's what I'm saying: Princess Peach is always a character who is. People always say, "Oh, she's just a character who gets kidnapped and just needs to be saved." But then there are a handful of games where they play around with that trope. In 3 of them, where she does get kidnapped, she soon becomes a playable character. and you start to get a bit more about her. Like, in some of them, she's trying to escape. In some of them, she gets saved very quickly, and then she's on Mario's side helping him.
I like Princess Peach.
Yes, and like in this movie, I think it's a case kind of like that, where you have the damsel in distress. For most of it, obviously, she's in trouble. She needs to be safe. She needs to be drugged to keep her under control. Women, am I right, guys? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, bad joke. But then later on, we get a part where she is actually, you know, doing things. She saves, I almost called him Roy again. Wait, he is Roy.
He is Roy.
Roy, Rod, he saved...
Rod is
You
the
know
other
what?
one.
Just call him Knight.
It's because
Call
of
him
the
Matt.
fucking quiz, alright?
Oh, look, it's him shirtless again.
Yeah, I'm okay with this. It's kind of nice blurry shirtless.
But
like,
I like that his
can-
head's clearly CGI'd on.
I can take like 20 years off him when I look at that shot. It's like young Tom Cruise.
If he's upside down, you can't tell how short he is.
Also
Yeah.
that. We're all the same.
Or you
height.
could tell even more. like, hey, why is there so much floor available?
See, I like this Tom Cruise, like sweaty Tom Cruise.
You didn't like him earlier in the movie when he was sweating.
I
You were
wasn't
complaining about
sweat.
his moisture.
No,
he
I was complaining-
He was sweating all
Well,
over.
okay, well, the sweat, or a supposed sweat, was directly on the lips that he just used to kiss Cameron Diaz. It was clearly leftover saliva. Sat there, and no one thought in like the camera making, in the filmmaking, like, why don't we just wipe that off his lips for the next bit?
I like
so that he
how
doesn't look like there's been
you
a...
were surprised. I thought a lot about Tom Cruise as an individual
I like
and
that bit.
his dynamics between him as the performer and the real man. And you were like, you thought a lot about this, but here you are thinking a lot about lip moisture.
Well, I think because movie kisses sometimes are great and sometimes just
Best
suck.
movie kiss?
Oh my god,
Shrek?
that's so hard.
Shrek.
Definitely. I can confidently
Between
say
Donkey and the Dragon?
I can confidently say what I think is the worst movie kiss,
Go
which
on.
is the end of Pretty in Pink, Molly Ringwald and what's his face. Have you seen Pretty in Pink?
Yeah.
80s film. Worst movie kiss ever because it's just like
It's also because
constant
you probably
awkward
didn't want
pecking.
him to be with her. Is that
Well,
it?
yeah, but no, it's just like they don't actually stay connected. They just like
She's
constantly
pretty in pink.
peck and it's gross. See,
her
on my
lips?
one it was red. The
It's-
bikini was red.
It's pink.
Yeah, no, but I swear to God, on the version I watched, the perfectly
Yeah, I got
the legally downloaded version.
I got the-
bought version.
I got the pink cut. Yeah, I
Nice,
got
yeah.
the pink cut.
They
yeah.
filmed this in
Fuck
like 10
me.
different colours of bikini.
I've seen the pink cut, so...
So you saw the pink cut as well? Maybe Alana's colorblind, do
Wait,
you?
Shit, don't say that.
He's got nice nips. They're little.
See, he looks nice here.
No, I've never seen Cameron Diaz naked before. But I imagine, wouldn't it be the most interesting thing that
Wouldn't
she
it be
has
basically that?
the largest nipples? Because she has small breasts.
The high sound in your voice after you said that was the best thing.
The largest nipples? like,
Maybe.
Like
He
they're the
also
size...
has really little nipples.
Yeah, we talked about little
He's
nips.
got like community nips.
Community.
You know?
Yeah, have you ever watched the
What's his
TV
name
show
in it?
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I feel like I watched like one episode because you recommended it.
It's great. There's a character in that called Dennis, and the guy who plays him, his name's Penny. His nickname is Dime Nips because his nips are literally the size of a dime. And they tested on
nice.
Conan O'Brien by putting dime on his nips. It's like, oh my god, it's so true. I feel like Tom Cruise has a 5-cent coin nip going on, like really small.
He does.
But he's
For
small.
non-Australians, the 5-cent coin is our smallest coin.
I think they could guess because it is 5 cents. I mean, that's pretty low in currency.
But
as
the
well.
50-cent coin is our biggest, and it's the third, most
It's
high in value.
yeah, but 50 is a big number.
Yeah, I know.
It's
but
5
then,
with
but
an
then
O on the
$2
end.
is this equally as small as 5, just a bit fatter.
Yeah, but
Sorry, I was just like...
nice ass.
Yeah, while this scene happens, she comes back in a second and actually is kind of a boss in terms of like fighting. Like for
Oh yeah, I thought so too.
But
It's because she
isn't that
did
a
the
bit of
Green
a
Hornet.
flaw to this damsel in distress thing? Like
No,
up
she's
until this point, we
no,
haven't
but she
seen anything
explains
like
it,
that.
Alana. She explains it. My dad wanted boys.
You're right. That's a really detailed.
I swear we've had another
background.
movie on this show that used the exact same situation where they could fight real
Yes,
well. It's
we
like
did.
my dad wanted boys.
It was Race to
feel
Witch
like
Mountain.
Race to Witch Mountain
That's a
is
really
the exact same. It's like
dumb-
my dad wanted boys.
No,
Like-
she had brothers.
I had brothers. This one, my dad wanted boys.
She grew up with like 6 brothers or
Couldn't
something.
she have just like liked fighting, or like
Maybe
done
she does.
boxing,
Maybe
or-
her dad forced her to like it. Alana, you're not much of a fighter. You know what they say about Alana. She can't fight for shit.
Who
But
says that?
everyone.
Alright,
Also,
let's
we
test that
were
theory.
just talking about how,
Shit of a fighter she is.
How
No.
yeah.
we were also just talking about how Cameron Diaz is kind of like the type of damsel in distress who does actiony things after she's done being, in distress.
Yeah.
And this is like the start of it, like the peak, or not peak, but like the part where it's starting to rise.
I really like this island.
Yeah, it looks so glam.
If you said on the other side they're filming Lost,
It looks like
I'd believe you.
I've got to say, I also find it interesting in this movie that April doesn't get pissed off that in the 3 days leading up to her wedding, she's just absent.
Is it? Yeah, these are very long 3 days as well because it's like this Saturday. Okay, I got confused about time in this
Me
movie.
too, yeah.
So I thought when they're on the plane at the start, it was Friday. I thought it was Friday.
I thought it was like Sunday, Monday, wasn't it?
See, I thought it was Friday.
I thought it was
You mean
Friday.
the day before? The
Yeah,
wedding?
yeah.
No,
No,
but
no, I thought it was a few days before, so maybe like Wednesday.
it was definitely not the day before, Ryan, because that was the lie she told that it was the next day. And then later on the plane,
had a
she...
Yeah,
feeling.
yeah, and then she's like, no, and then it's like, nah, it's Saturday. That's okay. It's like, well, I don't know what Saturday is.
I feel like if we imagined it was like Thursday, she had the next day was the fitting, so the Friday was the fitting. She got kidnapped that day, and then all that shit happened in the nighttime. And then this is that can't work. Wednesday, I reckon it was Wednesday.
Okay, it took place a year early. Okay.
How long was she drugged for?
The wedding is on Saturday, a year later.
No, it's
The
yeah,
wedding.
and it's traveling on with cars and boats.
He
And
said 18 hours, but was it maybe...
18 years. This movie.
I was going to say months or weeks.
when
maybe,
this
but-
movie first took place, Cameron Diaz was starring in The Mask, and now
yeah,
by the
right.
time the movie ends,
That really
it's
cut forward a little
2010.
bit. Yeah.
And Tom Cruise was only just in Cocktail. I mean, this is really early on in their careers.
This is a nice little scene. We get a little bit of a
A love.
little bit of romance.
See, here's the thing.
Spawning.
Look at her. I don't personally like. I have a mixed thing about whether I find Cameron Diaz truly attractive.
Yeah,
but
I
there's
kinda
something
agree.
about that you can't stop being drawn to her smile. Like, it's infectious. Like
that's
when
true.
she's happy, I'm happy. That's why it's like in a movie something about Mary. Say
Right.
one of her best ones. The title makes sense because you're like, there is something
something about
Cameron
her.
Diaz. There is something. She's just so
She
cute.
Looks, she looks like the kind of person who, if you want to tell her a joke, she'd listen and smile.
You know what she
Yeah,
reminds
she
me of?
courteously
She looks
smile.
like one of those cartoon babes that has come to life. Like if she was in the Roger Rabbit universe,
Yeah, you
they
can
wouldn't need to animate her.
Because her,
kind
her
of
mouth is so big.
She kind
It's
of
the
does
eyes.
sort of look doll-like, but not in like the creepy sense.
She looks like a goofy Michelle Pfeiffer.
Interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah, I could see that.
Goofy Michelle Pfeiffer. Because Michelle Pfeiffer is one of the hottest actresses ever.
Sure.
Do you not agree?
Yeah, no.
Have you not seen her in anything?
In Hairspray.
Is she not attractive in that?
Yeah, no, she is actually. She's
Have you not seen Stardust?
Oh my god, I love that.
How
movie.
fucking hot is she in that?
Yeah,
and
no,
she's
that's
playing decrepit.
Yeah.
Now, Bartek, when
She's
you've been
amazing.
put in a death situation in which an alien-like spaceship is shooting missiles at you, and you only have
Don't
a
remind me.
$10 helicopter that you bought from Kmart to escape. How did you escape the situation? Because this movie didn't really show us that.
I ditched the helicopter, went to my idol of Arc Voodoo, and called my UFO.
That was a video game reference for those not in the know.
I mentioned what the video game was earlier this episode.
You mentioned
Good
5
point.
video games,
I
so
know.
people are sitting there going, I don't remember that in Mario.
It's Destroy All Humans 2.
The best human
Nice.
destroyer game.
I feel like I would have gone the different route of taking hair off my back and tying sea turtles together and then like.
Ah,
floating
yes,
away,
Pirates of the Caribbean.
You know? Oh,
Now-
is that what he did? Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
They copied you.
Yeah, bastards took
Well,
my
he
last
didn't.
story.
In the end, he didn't actually do that. So that was the thing.
Look, she's in a mysterious
Well, what
country.
I would
See,
have
I
done,
did.
what I would have done is I would have
wanna
stood
go
on the
there.
mountaintop and waved my arms at the plane and surrendered. And then here's what Tom does. This is the real Tom move.
I can
He
feel
gave
my
them all
face
gobbies, so that way they would be distracted. And then he like bit.
all at once or like different times.
He's got a big mouth.
He cloned 7 of
No,
himself.
no, you got to. How many people do you think's operating that alien spaceship?
Oh, I
4
actually kind of
people.
missed the start of that. I was
4
like,
people, and he distracts them
4
by giving them gobbies, and he bites all their dicks off, and then he just
Oh,
steals
it's
the
like
alien
teeth.
spaceship.
It's a bit like Teeth. Have you seen that film?
Yes, I've seen that film where every male
Quality
character's
film.
a rapist.
Yeah.
Even her stepdad.
So, guys,
Yeah,
earlier
brother.
we were
A
talking.
gynecologist.
Earlier we were talking about that popular guy in Poland, Hitler.
Yeah, so popular.
They're-
They're in Austria now. His
Yeah,
hometown.
they're in Austria now. Another connection.
Oh, hello.
I really wanted. You know what? This was the lamest piece of advice ever that piece of information he gave. She goes, "Where am I?" And he's like, "You're in Austria at the moment." That's not specific enough.
No.
If you were on a train and I was the guy on the train and you knew what train you're on, and you're
Does
like,
she?
Wait, no, she doesn't. But let's
yeah,
work
right,
with the
yeah.
fact that he
Oh,
doesn't
I
know.
get what you're saying.
He doesn't know that she doesn't know that.
Yes, I
So
say
if you
yes.
came to me and you're like, "Where are we?" And I just went, "Austria at the moment,"
You'd
that
be like-
really doesn't narrow it down enough.
Yeah, you'd have to
Because you're like, "Well, duh, I took a train to Austria." Well,
Yeah,
like,
about
the only
inventing the
reason
route.
the only reason he would say Austria is if he knew that she wouldn't know what country they're in.
exactly.
Yeah, which,
Or
why does,
he
maybe
doesn't give a
does.
fuck because he's a bartender. He's probably drunk.
Probably. Yeah, but I mean, like, that's like going on a train from, like, Frankston to Melbourne and being like, where am I? And
It's
then
like-
being like,
Melbourne.
Frankston or, like...
It'd be like if you,
Melbourne.
it'd be like if you asked me like
Victoria.
Australia.
Where am I?
Southern
Australia.
Hemisphere. What?
Earth. Where am I?
It'd be like
Solar system.
Ryan, it'd be like if you asked me what am I doing now? I'm like, you're asking me what you're doing now.
Yeah. Can I also point out this guy, absolutely stellar accent. Like, just really good.
His Austrian accent.
It's really good.
Yeah, I loved Harvey in this movie. His name's Harvey Warbanger. Yeah, I don't know. We never
was
got
the
to know his
drink.
name. We never got to know his name. So he's Harvey Warbanger.
He's assassin.
No,
He's-
he's platinum grade assassin.
I think actually-
Fucking excuse me, platinum grade.
I think he should just be called the villain from Terminator 2 because that's basically his role in this movie.
I did
just-
think of
to
Terminator.
just respawn and like never
Well, like
die.
not stay down until
Yeah.
Well, any Terminator. I don't know why Terminator 2 specifically. He did liquid
I was
transform.
Because that
in
guy
this.
specifically is who I think of when I think of someone who respawns. in
Not
Terminator.
not Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I actually do think
No,
of
come
Terminator
on.
1.
As if you don't think of the dude, the cop.
Well,
Robert-
yeah, but he had a
you mean-
special ability.
You
Arnold
mean
Schwarzenegger.
Robert Patrick, yeah.
That's what his name
Arnold
He has
Schwarzenegger.
two first names.
is. Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator. By the way, Austria again.
Oh.
he
Connection?
That's where Schwarzenegger's from.
he basically looked like a human and like reacted like a human, but just didn't stay down. Whereas that other guy, he had liquid metal, so it's like, oh well, obviously. But the other one, it was like,
Oh, he's you.
shit. Oh yeah, he said this was me.
Yeah, this is Bartek. So Bartek made a cameo in this movie
See, I will
as
get you some
as
water.
elderly European man
I really liked.
who was. I really was disappointed that he got killed.
I did too because he was so sincere.
But I also thought, wouldn't it be great if he was an assassin too? And he's like, "All right, let me take out my walker."
He was only gold level.
I have a genuine question for you. Do you think that in films with like actors like Tom Cruise or people who are relatively short, that they purposely cast other men who are short
Yeah.
because they don't want him to seem emasculated?
Yep.
Yes.
Especially with Tom Cruise, he's very much known for that.
How bad is that? Everyone in this movie is so fucking short.
it's just how it goes. I mean, even in the old classics like Casablanca,
But that guy's so short.
Humphrey Bogart was shorter than most people in that, so he would be on boxes, and they would cast people like Peter Lorre who are even shorter.
I think I might have seen something like that happen when I was an extra on Neighbours.
I hate Neighbours, so I don't care.
It's such a like
we-
hilarious concept.
It was a woman though on the boxes, so I don't know if that changed.
Women always have a box. So
That's true.
Tom Cruise gets fucking obliterated in this scene, but then Cameron Diaz, here's the turning point. Cameron Diaz saves him, and this is the start of her journey because he taught her how to do Houdini hands, which is real sex term. You know,
Houdini hands, yeah.
you know, dying from a gut punch. Yeah. So. Poor Paul Dano, and then she does something amazing. She does Houdini hands, beats the shit out of this guy, and then he gets stabbed clearly in the heart. It's like
And
in the center to the left a bit. So he's stabbed in the heart, and the worst thing he did was pull out the knife. Like, that's
That's
the
what I was
worst
thinking.
option. I thought he's gonna pull out the knife and then
just
be like,
bleed to
"Oh
death."
fuck," and then
Yeah.
fall down. But he pulls out the knife, and this is foreshadowing the idea of you can get shot or stabbed in the heart and you'll be okay.
Yeah, I find this This is also goes with her whole like she's never gonna actually be the hero because Tom Cruise still has to kill her.
No, the train driver on the other train killed him.
Well,
was-
yeah, good point. Good
I was
point.
gonna compare him
But
to.
look, like he would have killed her then if Tom Cruise didn't kick him out the door. Out the window.
But he's holding on to a sausage. And you know how
There
durable...
are so many euphemisms
You
to
know
this
how
one.
durable sausages are, especially Austrian ones. They,
It took me actually a second to realize he held the sausage. I'm like, oh shit, he has strong legs.
You know, in Austria they don't use rope; they use sausages.
Sausage rope.
I was gonna compare his sort of invincibility to a character from another movie, but then I remembered that the other movie is based on a real story. So
Yeah.
I was gonna compare it to a character in Everest.
Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that movie.
You know the
Jake Gyllenhaal one.
yeah, the guy in that film, I think he was German or Russian. He was the guy who didn't need like an oxygen tank to survive high up there
Because he was a massive.
because he was a
Dumbass.
massive. No, but he survives.
Yeah.
Oh, which one?
He was like the
Russian.
He's the Russian or the European guy who comes with them. Who when they're like, all right, we all need oxygen tanks. No, I don't need it. I can do
Oh, right.
fine up
okay.
there.
I thought you meant the guy who makes him go back because he's like, I have to touch it. I have to reach.
And
this
then later in the film,
yeah.
he was absolutely right. He didn't need oxygen. He could survive up there
What a
just
boss.
on his own.
What
Yeah.
about the guy though who thought that he read the oxygen tanks right?
Can we talk about this film?
Yeah,
In this
sorry,
film,
shit.
the train. No. In this film,
Off track.
a train has 2 people murdered on it. One of which
You
gets
got a specific.
one of which
Tarantino.
gets murdered by another train. But guess what?
Yeah.
Still stops at the final destination. The train, even though people have died.
Yeah, no one
Was
knows.
that a train?
Yeah, they're on a train.
Yeah.
No, but the thing that he hit, I thought
Yeah,
that
it was
I
a-
thought that
it
was
was
like a tunnel or something.
No, it was
Nah, I
a
think it
train
was like a
going the other
freight
way.
train.
Oh, okay.
There's a freight train going the
Yeah.
other way. So he got massacred by 2 trains, technically. And you know what I love? When they brought that body bag out, I'm like, oh, it's the chef. But then I was like, wouldn't it be great if they had half a body bag and the other guy was carrying half of one because the guy got fucking splattered? I really would have liked it if this was an R-rated movie as well. Like if they toned up the violence in it, because I felt like it could have played with that too. Like her being drenched in blood, like him
Yeah.
being like fucking...
I feel like if you did up the rating, like they definitely would have banged at this point.
with penetration, yeah.
Like, why would they not have banged?
It's because he's
They were
short.
on a fucking island, like in.
Yeah, but that was at the point where their relationship was a bit rapey.
Yeah,
This is
good
the point
good
where
point.
in this story, in a proper spy movie, this would be the point where they have sex, and then he goes down and she finds the liar revealed trope kind of thing where
Yeah,
she thinks
yeah.
he's lying, and then it,
Did
later
Austin
eventually-
Powers do that? Like the first
Austin
movie?
Powers did not
Yeah?
do that.
No, they did.
No. They didn't do that.
Didn't he have sex with a villain in Austin
Oh,
Powers?
and the villain, but this is the hero. Like, I'm talking about the hero. In
Oh,
Austin
well-
Powers, what I love about Austin Powers is the first time he could actually have sex with Elizabeth Hurley, she's drunk, and he goes, no, you're drunk. That's just not
'Cause-
right. And
'cause
it's
it's
like,
not
wow,
right.
the international man of mystery, the sexiest sexist on the planet, even he knows it's wrong. And then he
so
went off and had
beautiful.
sex with a villain. That's what you're thinking of, but he never...
At least it was consensual.
Well, no,
sex.
because there was that one scene that was like, help, I'm stuck in a nutshell. Wasn't it after sex?
No, she was drunk.
That's when she's
All
like,
right.
That's the whole point of that's so great about Austin Powers.
was the same
is
scene.
he's a feminist at the end of the day. Like he loves having sex with them, but he loves women. So that's what that's why Austin Powers is such a great spoof movie because he's this sex player guy, but when he actually has sex responsibly, unlike James Bond. So it's kind of like,
responsibly. Aside from that, he never uses condoms.
Well, remember, it is a spoof of
yeah.
those things.
but
Aside from he probably has like 10,000
but that's
children.
because that's from the timeline he was from. Condoms weren't really a thing.
Yeah.
Give him a break. The pill wasn't even invented then.
So you said timeline, but time is what you meant.
No, remember they mucked
'Cause they
around
were
with
from the 60s.
timelines
The
movies.
second one.
Yeah, but you're talking about the series as a whole.
No, it was the
No,
first
I was
one.
talking about the- I was
but
talking about the
I'm
first
talking
one.
about the first one. As
He gets
a whole.
cryogenically frozen in the first one, and
Yeah.
it skips ahead like 30 years.
We were only talking about the first one, right?
I was there in the 90s. I know what happened.
Just of the three of us, so you should.
I saw that. I saw the first and second one in cinema.
Aw, that's so nice.
I'm jealous, but I'm still older than you. By
Hey,
a
look,
month
it's
and a
Wonder
bit.
Woman.
Oh, Wonder Woman.
Here's
is
my
a
problem
fox.
with Gal Gadot or Gal
I have
Gadot.
no problems with her. I think that she's.
I
a
don't
perfect
know
human.
if she can act, and
I
that
don't
frightens
care.
me. No, it frightens me. Like, I'm not a big fan of the DC movies, but she's going to be the first Wonder Woman in a big live action movie, and that's like a big thing. and she has never proven that she can act, and English is not her first language.
But that's kind
And
of why
she's
it
a
works.
model, and but she's a model that has turned into an actress, and those never usually do very well, Alana. And then we haven't seen her properly act, so Wonder Woman will be the movie where you get to see her properly act, and I hope that she does well. But there's this part of me that just goes, concoction A mixed with concoction B mixed with concoction C will equal concoction disaster.
I just feel like Wonder Woman is meant to be so, like tough and masculine and like awesome.
And when I
Her,
see
if
Gal
she's-
Gadot as the tiny, thin, very feminine woman, I think, yeah, masculine.
No, but the way that she
Carries
acts
herself?
is like that. Is like Wonder Woman's personality.
Who's directing that film, the Wonder Woman?
I don't know.
Not Zack Snyder.
Not Zack Snyder. Oh, the kid from Flipper wrote the script.
I think the guy.
The one in the raincoat with the
Yeah,
glasses.
really?
He wrote the script to Wonder
I
Woman.
think he
great.
also wrote scripts for the OC.
Flipper!
Flipper.
Which made
so,
me
There better be
so
references.
Bartek,
Me.
any quizzes that we need to be hitting the balls with?
There's one more that I'd like to read. It's relevant.
Sorry.
Directing
Patty
it.
Jenkins. It's a
Oh,
woman. who
I knew it
dressed
was a
like
woman. It's the
And
woman
she
who directed
directed
Monster.
which is a
Very good
fucking
film.
great film. Oh, and she wrote for Resident Evil.
Is Monster the one
Where
the serial
Charlize
killer?
Theron is a
Yeah.
serial killer. Yeah.
So good writing for women, maybe.
Well, good director for woman.
Yeah, pardon me. Good directing. For
Alana,
women.
killing is naughty.
Oh, it's Amanda Waller. Viola Davis.
Isn't that Oprah?
Oh my god! I didn't realize we were watching The Color Purple.
Was she in The Color Purple?
Yeah, that's one of Oprah's best acting roles. Like that's one where Oprah proved that she could act.
Okay.
All right, we were gonna do a quiz question. I'm sorry.
It's more relevant for an upcoming scene, but I can do it now. It's about the parents.
Oh,
Ooh,
fuck
Meet
yeah!
the parents. Here we go.
My favorite, Ben Stiller. Meet the Fockers.
June visits a couple who she realizes are Roy's parents.
Shit! That's
What?
who they were.
What is unusual about the couple?
Oh, they're both
They-
Jewish, and he's clearly not Jewish.
I was going to say that they somehow win lots of like money and like
That's
contests
because-
without entering them.
That is the correct answer. They won Publishers Clearinghouse twice.
Woo!
The wrong answers that... Ryan, you didn't even get the wrong answers. Were they both US senators?
That's not weird at all. Why can't both a man and a woman be a US
Were
senator?
they both
Fake news.
were they were they both blind?
Must be that.
There's still one more, Ryan, but laugh it out, laugh it out.
They were both blind. And how did he see her? How did he... Okay, say someone watched this movie and they chose that answer genuinely. How did the father see her
Human
at
senses.
the window?
Oh, actually,
And he
that actually would be so much cooler
He
because.
owns guns.
But then it's a bit like what's that fucking
Don't breathe.
Yeah.
He owns guns, which is possibly the worst weapon a blind person can own. It's
Maybe he also owns
best.
like
Okay.
a basement with a woman.
There's no
in it.
answer that can follow up that can be better than that.
And the third wrong answer is they are also the parents of Simon.
Ooh, that
We
would've
actually
been
don't know
great.
if that's true or not.
That would have been fucking awesome. Simon's his little autistic brother.
No, it's his autistic uncle.
He just looks really young for his age.
No, Tom Cruise.
Fresh out of high school.
I have an eight. Hey, no. You don't. You can have an uncle that's younger than you.
Yes, you can.
You
That's
can.
true.
I have an
If your
auntie that's
par-
younger than me,
If
Yeah,
your
that's
grandparents
and she's Chinese.
if your grandparents gave birth right now, that'd be your aunt or uncle.
That would be very disturbing
young.
also.
I have a very young Chinese auntie whose name is Becky, and she's like, "Call me Auntie Becky." I'm like, "Who are you?" I met like my extended. I met my like. My family's group of people. There was like family event, and there was this like little 8-year-old girl. This was like 10 years ago. This little 8-year-old girl running around in a pink dress, playing with all the other kids. I'm like, oh, she's one of their friends or like whatever. And she's like kept going. You call me Auntie Becky. I'm your auntie. And I'm like, I found out. Someone told me. So I was like, no, she really is your auntie. She's
What is
Chinese,
happening
but
right
with round blue eyes, but Chinese everything else, like skin.
Parents.
my grandfather and some Asian woman that he met at later life, and she got
so
pregnant.
she's your half aunt then.
She's my aunt, yeah.
Yeah, by blood, but still half aunt. Yeah.
Yeah, but more than not aunt.
I think
She even knew that.
She knew that, but no one thought to inform me. No one. And then this 8-year-old had the concept. I didn't.
Wait, and this was 10 years ago?
10 years ago, so she's
18 now. We should have her on the show.
Yeah, Auntie Becky, if you want to come on the show. She was like running around, and she's like got the proper Chinese hairstyle.
Was this your Polish grandfather?
No,
Oh, she could have been Polish.
Pole Chinese. So, Alana, that's my background. What's yours?
yeah, great.
Well, Alana grew up in the swamps, like most ogres. Fun fact about Alana.
Oh, like Cameron Diaz in that movie Shrek?
Fun fact
See, I
about
really am
Alana.
Cameron
I have a
Diaz.
sister called Alana, but they're both spelt differently.
She's been on the show.
Alana Summers here spells her name phonetically with an
my
R.
mum would say that, yeah.
It's like
Alana.
Alana. There you go. Spell
Alana.
that.
Alana.
Well, mine spells it like ALLANA.
A-double-L-A-N-A, yeah, and then there's also A-L-A-N-A-H. Then there's
I
also
hate the H.
Isn't there one-
A-L-A-double-N-A-H.
Isn't there one where you put an R in
That's
it?
hers.
Oh, right.
A-L-A-R-N-A is my one.
It's the worst one, by the
Get
way.
effed.
It is. Do you think that? Do you realize that your
I actually
spelling of
love
your
it.
name is the worst one that is
No,
available?
because I think that A-double-L-A-N-A-H or whatever is Alana
Alana.
to me. Alana.
Yeah.
And A-L-A-N-A
The problem
looks
is,
really bogan when you
Alana.
write
The problem
it.
is, Alana. We pronounce R's in lots of words that don't have them because we're Australian and we have this natural inflection. So if we spell R's into things that don't have them all the time, we're gonna have our own language by the end of the
It's
day.
typically when there's an A in like the middle of a word, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which there is in Alana.
Kasprzyszak.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I said my last name. Edit that out.
Fuck.
Well, I put the Australian inflection on it, so it doesn't
No,
count.
one of the first things I did when I met Alana was I said, "Hey, you remind me of this character in a movie," and you're like, "What movie?" And this is true, Bartek. In the film Fargo, Steve Buscemi's character has interactions with prostitutes, and one of those prostitutes looks and sounds exactly like Alana,
Yeah, this is how I
except
got
for with
introduced
a
to Ryan.
Canadian inflection. It's like she's like, "Oh, he was just funny looking, eh?" And I'm like, "It's Alana." Like, I swear. It's
So I'm actually
exactly
Canadian
Can you
like-
say
prostitute.
that line, Alana?
He was just funny looking, eh?
Oh my god, we got the actress from Fargo.
I'm a Canadian prostitute. No, I wasn't acting in that. That was just my real life.
No, it was a documentary.
Yeah.
About how he had sex with Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, it was
Was
the
that
best
method
of my
acting?
life. Meth acting. I was just.
He was on. She did it for meth.
I was
So
fucked.
in this movie, Tom Cruise gets shot several times. He's not wearing a bulletproof vest.
No.
He
He's wearing a really sexy
falls
suit.
a lot. Now, Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz both did a majority of their own stunts, especially Tom Cruise, you know? Except for this was like the wire work that he did. But other than that, he didn't
They even did
know
the
why.
driving ones,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because they're both avid drivers, which I really respect. You know, Cameron Diaz,
Yeah,
you
she's
can
a boss
laugh and
driver.
go, "Oh, yeah, Cameron Diaz is a car expert." Because there are sometimes when you have a movie actress, it's like Julia Roberts, helicopter pilot, and you can't help but be like,
She could be a helicopter pilot for sure.
but or you know, like, you know, Sienna Miller, brain surgeon, you know, stuff like that.
That
Cara
is really
Delevingne,
offensive.
actress.
Ronald Reagan, president.
Donald Trump, businessman and president.
At the same time.
I believed him on Home Alone 2, but not as a president. But Cameron Diaz, you can't laugh because this is true. She is really into cars.
Do we know this for a fact?
No, she
Go on
is.
the
She's a
IMDb
really
trivia.
avid.
It's true.
No
she's a
way.
really.
She did the 180 turns and everything.
Yeah, she's a very good driver.
That's cool.
And didn't it also say
I like
that?
that more.
Didn't it also say that Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz at the same time as doing this movie were on Top Gear?
Yeah,
That is actually cool then. I'm
I
glad
would
that
watch
was part
her
of her
host
character.
American Top Gear
It's
with
just like,
Joey from Friends.
that's so,
And you'd be like, "How you doing?" And she'd be like, yeah.
You're not
you
my
got-
friend."
You're not my. No, no, that's not Cameron. That's not Cameron. She would.
You're
do
right. She would laugh at his jokes. Like I
She'd
said
be like,
earlier.
"Ha ha ha ha," and then rub his semen in her hair.
that's, yeah, just to keep it up.
Not even Shrek would like that, Ryan.
That's from Something About Mary, so I'm correct. Her most iconic role.
Oh,
She was a something.
Yeah, I'm actually impressed that is part of her
Oh, look.
RL, her real life.
Your guy's
It's
gonna
kind of
die.
like
Oh no, my guy with the really
your
weird
bae
teeth.
gets shot.
Oh no.
Dead.
Weird thing is, Paul Dano's sitting behind that guy, so no matter what would have happened, him shooting that guy in the chest would go through the guy, through the chair, and hit Paul Dano. So Paul Dano's dead.
I suppose though his angle was more towards the door than towards the back.
No.
Hold on, Ryan, say that again. I'm confused.
Okay, so Paul
my
Dano, this is the stuff on the podcast we have to get through. Paul Dano is in the back seat of the car,
Yes.
behind the passenger seat of the front,
Yes.
right? The driver shoots the passenger in the front in the chest. The bullet would go through the passenger in the front,
Into Paul Dano?
through the chest,
Yes.
through the seat into Paul Dano, who's directly behind.
I feel like
I'm on Alana's side.
If you
of
think
this.
it like this, he's sitting like this way, and he shoots in this direction, so
Yeah.
it still hits the heart.
No,
but
no,
it
no,
goes-
no. But if you actually watch it, he didn't just shoot like that. He
went
actually,
bang, bang.
and you're using visual cues for a podcast. Great
Yeah,
job.
sorry, podcast.
What Lana's indicating is he shot towards the door, but what he actually did was he pulled his gun forward into his chest and aimed directly into his chest.
Did he though?
Yes, I watched it last night and I was
Ryan's
like, did
like,
he
"I
just
studied it
shoot
7
Paul
times."
Dano?
Well, he didn't shoot Paul Dano.
No, exactly. But that's weird because the government issued guns, so they would pierce through at an alarming rate more than just an average gun.
It's still a lot to pierce through, though. I mean,
No,
it's a body,
but
all
at
the
such
organs
close-
in there, the back of the body,
But-
and then
But he shot several times close range in a small compressed space. It is likely.
I don't think so.
I think Paul Dano's dead for the rest of this movie.
I think they did fine.
Excuse me, did you not see that
Don't
Tom
hit me.
Cruise? Did you not see
Don't
that?
hit me even
You
harder.
just-
Excuse me,
Visual cues
this
for a
is a
podcast,
movie.
Ryan.
I'm gonna hit you if you don't shut up a lot. Did you not see Tom Cruise manage to throw a hot battery across a pier and the other guy caught it without falling? I think this movie allows
I mean,
this.
that's a bit more realistic.
Suspend
Oh
disbelief.
yeah, you got me there.
Throwing something and then catching it?
No, from an increase from a faraway distance that's extremely hot, and
was in
there's
a
a
little
body of
wrapper.
water, and there's a body of water. They indicate it's so hot that it exploded 2 seconds
Yeah,
later.
good point.
So you can see, and also I think it's really unrealistic that blind people can see Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, but Ryan, you made your point by hitting me, so that's kind of not nice.
So it's invalid.
All right, so I'll fix it by hitting you again.
No, just do a reverse hit.
Oh, you sound
The
effects
pain's
too
gone. Sound like my sound effect from Roger Ebert possesses me.
So, Alana, this movie had many twists. Alana, could you just...
We're returning to the movie mode.
Alana, could you just calm your
I
down?
am
We're
calm.
trying to
I'm
have an
so
intellectual conversation about
About
whether or
what?
not Cameron Diaz is a good actress
Oh,
in this
that's-
particular scene.
Were we?
That's what I was leading to, and then Lana had to interrupt it
You
with
said
her...
we were trying to even start.
Well, I
Bartek.
started it and then stopped it.
All right. Anyway, yeah.
But now we're talking about it.
Now we're not going to talk about it because it's
Is
all
she a
spoiled.
good actress?
Is her watch more of a prominent character than her
Is her what?
watch? Because I've been
Oh, that's-
noticing that her
actually,
watch is
that's-
always pointed directly at the camera, like, look at the brand of watch.
And it's also she's just been in war as well. Like, why has she got a robe on,
I mean-
but still a watch?
Her watch can be waterproof.
Yes, but like, wouldn't you?
Because she
take
needs
it
to know
off
the
if you're-
time.
But she's in very comfortable like robe clothing. Why
She's
would you
probably not wearing underwear either.
Maybe she's in the nud. Oh my gosh, her lover's parents will see her in the nud before he does.
I would love to see her in the nud.
Yeah, we pretty much do, don't we?
I would nut to that nud.
You would what?
Nut to that
Oh,
nud.
Lord.
Nut is a phrase for
You don't.
masturbate.
It's alright. You
And
don't
nud
know.
is
That's not the
for
word that I want
nude.
an explanation. What's nud?
Nude.
In the nud,
But he already changed her into a bikini.
No, but she's naked now.
she's got.
Oh,
a
but
robe on.
you're right. Alana's stupid. You got it.
Okay.
Nailed it. Because he's already seen her naked, Alana. You
No,
just
but
said
he
that.
didn't see. He said,
Yeah,
I can,
no,
I
he
can
did.
do it without seeing someone.
I'm a guy, Alana.
And then what?
He
And then what
did.
did he say immediately after?
I
Not-
may have. Like he said. That's a lie. Essentially.
That's a lie. I jerked off onto your tits.
Ew.
That's not sunscreen.
Gross.
I'm Tom Cruise. I'm a nice guy. And she's like, damn right you are. Smile and
Didn't the
laugh.
IMDb trivia also say that this woman here, who's meant to be his mum,
He's only 10 years older than him.
Yeah.
That's really sad because she looks really old.
Wow, yeah. Well, no, maybe it's just that he's aged really well.
You're right. Women do age terrible. Alana's like only our age and she looks 45.
maybe
At least we live longer. So
Alana looks like a Fargo prostitute. You know?
I am. I told you it's not an acting part. It was real life.
That movie was
a really hard
20
time.
years ago.
perhaps.
It was 20
It
years.
was a hard time. Okay, I was in my 20s. It was just really rough.
It was hard with Steve Buscemi's cock in me. You know,
yeah,
it was very
so
hard.
hard. Well, actually, no, not really.
It was hard.
I can't imagine Steve Buscemi ever actually. No, I'm not gonna. Just...
Can you imagine it?
No, I don't want
She
to.
just said she can't.
His teeth gritting.
I just don't
those
want
those
to.
buck teeth gritting. Those buggy eyes bugging out.
I feel like the only
His
way I
translucent
could
skin.
imagine it if he's like fully in his like in a really expensive suit like boardwalk
No,
Empire style with a hat
no,
on.
no.
Then I can
Have you not
imagine
seen
it.
Fargo? You were
Yes,
in it.
I've seen Fargo.
You're in it. You know
Yeah,
what he
it was
looks
my
like.
real life. But I picture him as that
You had
one.
sex with him pre wood chipper,
Fucking yeah.
and then post wood chipper. Just a foot.
And then post wood chipper.
So we haven't talked about the MacGuffin of the movie, which is a super-powered battery,
The Zephyr.
The Zephyr.
the Zephyr. I wonder
Zeppelin.
why it's called that. Well, there's an
It
answer.
sounds cool.
There's an answer to that.
Of course.
What's the answer, Ryan?
The screenwriter came up with it, and that's the answer.
Oh my
So-
god, it's revolutionary.
So that's something you would have given me, bud.
You are not correct.
Oh no, I've been bitten by Bartek and I'm becoming him.
Ryan tastes like Ryan.
And Alana tastes like Steve Buscemi's cum.
I don't bite and tell, except for
That
you.
is so much.
Bite and tell. Alana, welcome to Spin Polish Presents.
And spit and polish and bite.
Yeah, that's you.
Why am I bite? I don't want to be bite.
Okay, spit and polish and girl from the swamp.
No, but see, I feel like the only natural progression from that would is swallow. Like, why do you not have that? Like, that's not
Spit
it.
and polish and hump.
Hump. Oh, gross. Hump is like the worst word. Hump.
Okay, spit and polish and moist.
So, does that mean that your favorite song is the one that goes, my heart?
What are lady lumps? I don't know.
Breasts and bums.
Nips.
Cheeks.
No, they're tumors that women can get because of the ovaries.
Ah.
I hope that's not what they are, because in that
You
case,
love my lady.
that's a
Love.
weird.
You love my
tumors.
lumps, my lovely
I see.
lady humps, you know? Tumors of the ovaries. Because men
can
love it
look,
because
but
it
you
means
can't
with a
touch
guarantee.
because they're on the inside.
I mean, you could if
So
you're a
you literally can't
gynecologist.
touch. Gee, you'd have to reach
Only my-
far.
you have
Oh, that explains
You have
that.
tools.
That explains the line that you got me spending all this money on my surgery
On my
to get rid of the
surgery,
tumors.
And now I can't have- and
mommy
you're- and-
sitting by my side because I'm.
And you're happy because
I'm
I can't have
in
kids
hospital.
now.
That is fucked, Ryan.
Well,
It's
why
fun, but it's
you
also beautiful.
like tumors? So, Cameron Diaz is
Fucked but
interacting.
beautiful,
Excuse me.
like this guy.
This man here is very attractive, and I loved in the IMDb
He's kind of
trivia.
weird though.
He's been compared to as the Spanish Tom Cruise.
But he's got like a really round face.
It's because of his beard is very sculpted in a round fashion.
Yeah, I feel like it's not sculpted well. Like I
I think it's very sculpted.
Nah,
very
I
well.
think he needs like.
Look at
some
Bartek's
more-
beard now. That's shit. But look at this
I
guy's
haven't
beard.
shaved in a while.
He needs
Nah,
some
look at this
more,
guy.
like,
Well, evidently you have a beard.
chiseling. He looks too round.
Nah, he looks like Data from the TV show Star Trek when he isn't Data.
I don't watch Star Trek. I'm sus.
You fucking sauce. Have you ever watched The Master of Disguise?
Yeah.
The villain is
Think of
Data.
another person.
The villain?
Oh,
He looks
right.
like the villain from
Yeah, that
Master of
makes
Disguise. I'm not joking. He really
He's got a
does.
lush head of hair though.
I
Like
haven't seen
it's
Master of Disguise in so
pretty-
long.
We'll do it on the show one day. With Alana, she can be the disguise.
I would love to watch Master of Disguise.
So
I-
who's the master and who's the of?
You're the master, and I'll be the off.
The of.
I'm humble.
You're just obsolete.
So I love Cameron Diaz in this scene. She's really playing her comedy strengths very well by being
I like
honest.
this,
And I
yeah.
love that kind of humor in which someone's given a drug or mind controlled to be brutally honest. And,
Johnny English, perfect example.
Yep. And
Glad.
yeah, and I love like Johnny English, great example. I have so many great stories about Johnny English.
English is my fave. I love that.
Do you like the part where all the men are sitting on toilets and farting?
No, I like
Yes.
I like Ben Miller in that movie. I thought he was the funny part. His assistant. That's why when I
He's
watched
the best. Buff.
That's why when I watched the second one, I was very disappointed because he wasn't involved.
My name is Dr. Buff.
No, my name is Peter Sarsgaard, and I'm an evil, corrupt CIA agent.
Do you know my favourite Peter Sarsgaard role is basically the same role as this one in Flight Plan? Jodie Foster. Have you seen that movie?
Is that the one where she gets raped on a pinball machine?
No, that's Accused.
Ding,
And I
ding,
love
ding.
that
Oh,
movie too.
so close.
Flight Plan is where her daughter gets kidnapped on a plane, and then
You can see I got them confused.
they try and convince her that the daughter hasn't actually been kidnapped and that she's just crazy. And he plays.
I've seen a very
he's
similar
in it.
movie. It's called Changeling,
I love that movie too.
where Angelina Jolie's son is missing, and they give her a new son and say, "No, that is your son."
yeah,
based
and
on
then
a
she
true
gets,
story.
Like, then she's like force fed and like, oh, that's
It's
a gross
nothing
movie.
like Shrek.
No, Shrek is more like Night and Day. And the thing with Night and Day is this movie's 7 years old. Does that blow your mind?
Yes, because I think of 2010 as being like
Yesterday?
last year. Yeah.
Yeah. Before I knew you, Alana, it was a
we were
simpler
like
time.
year 11 at that point, right?
Yeah, year 11.
I was happier then.
Yeah, same. I didn't know you.
In your country town?
No, I wasn't happy. I didn't have this show to reference Fargo prostitute Alana.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. And
You know what Alana's
and I
porn
hadn't-
actress name is?
What if we just take this
What is
segment
it?
of the episode?
Summers and Swallows.
What if we just take this segment of the show, send it to your sister, and see what happens?
My sister?
Because she got like similar phonetic name, right?
Oh, no, send it to Alana's sister. Do you have a sister?
I had two.
Send it to one of them, and they're like, Alana, I didn't know that you were. That explains you are working in Frankston. I mean, that explains everything. Frankston is a scummy
yeah,
area
fucked.
for those of you not in the
Frankston
Melbourne.
is not that bad.
Okay,
actually.
says someone who lives there.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
scum.
Well, then maybe that just means I will be cooler and not a damsel in distress if I'm ever in a film because
No,
I
you're-
have learned the hard ways of Frankston.
No, you're like a Holocaust denier. you denied the true horrors of the world. You know something about this film, Bartek, that I really, really admired about it is it had a visual flair to it. Like, it
Indiana
was
Jones.
shot primarily in the daytime, which is unique for a movie of this caliber. Like, he went on to do another spy movie, Jack Reacher, which was shot primarily at night, and it wasn't very successful, either of those movies. And I think it's really ballsy to even have a comedy movie that is a spy movie like this take place primarily in the day. I think it's bold choice on Peter Mangold's part.
Isn't James Mangold?
Oh,
I feel like it was James.
okay.
Also, you could just call it Night in Day.
Oh,
Oh.
the porn parodies that.
Well, that's if they have sex. Yeah.
No, but it's night.
She's not
as in
day.
him in the daytime.
yeah,
And she's day though, remember?
no, she's not.
So then it's a double entendre.
Some day
Ooh,
is
Because
some.
it's night and day. Like
Well,
fighting,
he might
but
have
also
slipped
him
his
and her.
finger in her pussy when getting her changed.
That is so gross.
What? It could have
I am
happened.
so.
Lana, it could have. It could
I
have
know
happened.
it could have happened, but we have to just
Ryan, did you say that out of your mouth or the nose? 'Cause
We
that
have
was
to
really
just-
on the nose.
suspend. Oh my god. That's...
You have to suspend her to do that? Yeah, I agree. She's a tall woman.
Please.
Suspend her from school and then go to her house.
And give her a spank.
Oh, this is so bad.
No, you're right, Lana. I should be fair. He could have slipped his finger up her butthole as well. You know, I don't want to give
Ryan,
the
language.
butthole.
Equity, like. You
Okay, her ass mouth. Yeah,
Yeah.
he could have stuck it up her. Yeah, because you know, if you put
I'm just still
food
trying
up
to
your
get over the
butt,
fact
you
that
can
said the
still
word
eat.
Pussy, and now I'm just dying. I can't.
You don't like the word pussy?
I
Okay,
don't
he
know
stuck
why.
it.
It always
You
sounds
know,
so gross out of a dude's mouth.
Tom Cruise. He might have stuck his finger up her mouse trap. You know.
Oh fuck! Your chair just rolled on my toe.
What happened?
My chair rolled on her mousetrap,
On
and
my
now
toe! On my toe!
she's really erected in the
Ah,
clitoris
fuck.
area.
Ryan, you've hurt both of your co-hosts in this episode.
Physically,
You're a
and
violent person.
physically and emotionally.
Yes, I'm gonna go home and cry about
For
this.
the
these
audience
days.
that doesn't know, Ryan sits in the middle in the episode, so he's got access to both people.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
go home
well,
and
they-
cry to Steve.
Who's
Buscemi.
Steve? Oh, your boyfriend.
Yeah, we're still together.
Buscemi?
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
been
her
a while.
client. Her friend.
It's friends with benefits kind
Steve
of deal.
Buscemi.
Like,
He's only a bloody stump, but it still works.
My stump.
So, Bartek, could you please
stump.
inform me of a favorite character in this movie? Because this movie has a lot of characters, but also doesn't have very many characters.
true.
Well, funny you mentioned the guy
Oh
that...
yeah. Sorry.
Is that a good movie kiss or a bad movie kiss?
That one's much better.
Yeah, it's because he's got his finger on a mousetrap.
And then
Because he's not like with his eyes open, like really freaking out. Someone's coming to get
they
him.
should re-edit this movie. They kiss, then it pans to the side. Alana's there. She goes much better.
Yeah.
And
I
Viola
also-
Davis is there too.
Actually, still in like movie kisses. You know what one actually is a massive disappointment for the whole movie? Bridget Jones. The
Yeah,
film kiss
Bridget-
at the end of that.
Yeah, Bridget Jones
sucks dick.
sucks.
Nah, I love that movie, but
Yeah,
the end of it,
you're
is
right. It's no
just-
Bridget Jones's baby. You
It's
got it.
dreadful. Like the end.
With her and which one is it?
Colin Firth. Like the kiss. Is
Have
just
you ever seen
really
him kiss in
lame.
movies? He's not very good at it.
No, he's not.
It's because he's like a dead fish.
Because he's like 400. No, I'm just kidding. He's not really.
Why are you so mean, Alana? He's just trying to be a talented actor. He's
But,
He's
He
the
was in
man of-
Centrinians.
He was in both
Do you know, I
Centurions.
also find the Titanic sex scene actually not that arousing.
Excuse me. They had sex in a car on a boat.
Yeah, except I don't know. There's something that's weirdly kind of like mother and child about it.
Why?
My
Is it
Freudian
because
brain when I
Kate
watch it-
Winslet's too old? Is
No,
that what
no,
you're
no,
saying?
no,
Or-
not at all. It's because the way that they, at the end of it, the way that he's like panting or whatever, and then he like lays down literally in her bosom while she like pats his head, and it's this weird
Have you
like.
ever had sex before,
It's the-
Alana?
it's
Because
just
that's
this
how
weird-
that kind of is how it goes.
I think you need
after
to
sex.
watch it though, and it just.
I have watched it.
He
I
looks
don't
really
like
like-
the movie, but I love a lot. It's just like, you know, it's so weird that they did that after sex. It's
He
like,
just
yeah, it
looks
is very
really
weird
like
that
a
they
child.
cuddle. It's because he's got a young face and you associate him as a child actor as well
So-
as a grown man.
So rewatch it and think of it in that way, and it's weird.
Well, you could rewatch anything and think of it in any way. Now,
Yeah, good
now,
point.
Bartek, was your favorite character the two sets of bulls that were different color to the rest? I really like those.
I really like the character that you said reminds you of me.
Oh, the chef.
Yeah,
Check
even
it out.
before you brought him up, I just really like the sincerity in
Yeah, he was the
what
only
little he
sincere
said.
one.
I really
Like,
like.
of course, I'll get you some water.
I really liked him. I really liked
I like the
Eduardo.
mom.
Eduardo,
There was a character called Eduardo.
the guy that he said,
The guy.
the
What
guy
a-
that he just
what
interacted
a
with, being
description.
like, "Tell your boss when you wake up that," and she's like, "This
Yeah.
is Eduardo." It's like, "Oh, Eduardo,
This is it.
Eduardo, could
Do
you
you know-
please tell
oh my
your
God,
boss
guys.
when you wake up that I'm after him?"
I found another connection. I'm pretty sure in Charlie's Angels, when Cameron Diaz has her dream where she dances,
She
calls
makes love
out,
to Paul Dano.
Eduardo, move me.
Oh,
She
there you
does.
go.
She does.
No, she says the Chad.
No,
Move me.
she goes, Eduardo,
No,
move me. And then it goes,
the Chad.
heaven to it happens.
So Bartek, that was you. Lana, who was your favorite character?
I think Viola Davis.
She
I'm pretending that
does
there was
so
anyone
much
else.
in the movie.
She's
I love this
really-
machine gun guy. He does so much.
I also really love the guy who gets his like neck wrapped up and flies out of nowhere. Like, I'm really impressed that Tom Cruise is that strong. He just jumps on something and pulls him
Well,
up
Tom
out of nowhere.
Cruise, he has impressive core strength, to say the least. You know, he's a guy that can hold Cameron Diaz, who's not a small woman, like she's tall.
Savage. I feel like it's almost
Too brilliant for you to handle.
well, no, it's more like arm strength than it is core. I mean, I guess both.
No, but he's so little that his arms are connected to his core.
good point. Yeah,
Like, you know how we said he's just a potato?
yeah, right. He was a carved potato.
Oh, and Paul Dano, resourceful as usual.
I know.
He stops the guy. Hey, does Peter Sarsgaard look like a European version of Kiefer Sutherland in this movie to you? Like, he's just like, my name is Jack Bowerski, and I've got 24 hours to...
Did you ever watch Prison Break?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like one of the secret agents from that show.
Oh, yeah, you know Prison Break? You know what's really great about that show? It kept going after they broke out of prison, which really worked.
So it was like prison free. They should just.
They should have
renamed
called it Prison Run.
It's because they realized.
They should
Prison!
have just called it no
Prison! Run!
I do like that one of the last lines of the first
Out of
season was
prison.
like, "What do we do now? We run," and then it shows them. running.
Damn.
I hated Prison Break.
Oh my god! I also forgot to mention before. There's a really good CSI Sonny's remove bit.
From Tom or
Right
from
up, yeah.
Peter?
It's right when Tom's about to kiss Cameron.
Oh yeah, well that's
and he
all-
just does
I
this like, wow.
Right, here's the-
CSI Son.
Now here's the unrealistic
I was about to say
bit
that,
here.
yeah.
Look. He throws down his guns. Unrealistic. You
Into
know.
the water.
Tom Cruise. No.
Yeah, he puts him in the water. He says throw them in the water.
No, you're right. But look how far away from the water he is.
He's moved in that time.
No,
in
he
that shot.
hasn't. Now
Just gonna
look
get
at
the
him.
battery. It's right here.
It's right here in my pants. And
right
here's
here.
the
Do you
thing,
wanna get it
he
yourself?
actually got the battery, and that was interesting. Now, here's something I got really confused about. Why did CIA man want to shoot them once he's like, another? oh, I get it, because he's gonna make another one. He's like, I better end this. Why?
Because he was
Just take him.
because they wanted to be the only ones with the intel.
Yeah, I think you should still take him with you.
Yeah, but I guess like once they have a prototype, they could go to other scientists and be like, remake this exact thing. We don't need the technology. We don't need you to know how to do it. Boom.
Oh no!
shakalaka.
And my favorite trope: birds.
Totally.
I love that one. So many times when people get shot and they cut to a random shot of birds reacting. I really would like to see an animated kids movie called The Birds Reacting, and it's like a whole movie about scenes
When
and
they
famous
get
movies that they had to react to, and it's like their journey to those points. Like
It's funny because one of the bird reaction ones that I remember is from Seinfeld.
now here, look at this. It's hot,
Oh, it's hot.
and that guy
Why
has
is
a
it
massive
hot?
beard.
Giant.
No,
He's my favorite, actually.
the beard.
Actually, that poor innocent
Alana,
dude.
do you like men with beards?
I love beards. Yeah.
Do you grip onto them?
Nah. No. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank God I'm safe.
I just grip and just like pull them down until they fall off. Just tear it off.
Look, I'm Polish, so my beard hair is very thick. So
There you
Well,
go.
that's the
It's-
test.
it's like
that's how
a-
you know if they're a real
it's
man.
like an
you have to-
Austrian sausage.
It's like an Austrian sausage,
Yeah,
which
if
is
you can
code
hold
for
on-
Polish
It
beard.
takes 2 trains to
If
break
you can
one.
In
hold on and it
Poland,
doesn't
they-
come off, then you know you found a real man, and then you sort
Look, shot in the heart.
yeah, cheeky.
He's fine.
Also, I find it really amazing that in the last 5 seconds or 10 seconds, when that gunshot goes off, there's like 10,000 gunshots in the whole film, but that one happens, and Cameron Diaz is like, "Oh no,
because
a
it was
gunshot!"
different.
It's like in
different.
But it could have been him. Why would she not assume
Because
it's him?
she's worried that it's poor Dano. Poor guy, he only
I
just got
don't
out
think
of
she's
school.
worried about Paul.
He only just got out of
The
school.
15-year-old.
He's got his whole life ahead of him.
and
He just
potentially
wants-
his brother.
He just wants to
His
fly
uncle.
planes.
Uncle Dano.
I still love that you have an 8-year-old, well, had an 8-year-old
Auntie Becky, yeah.
I don't think
She
that's
had
possible.
round blue eyes
if
with
your
Chinese everything else.
grandparents have another child, that's your
He
aunt or
thought
uncle.
that this Chinese woman would have had a menopause by then because she was like 52 or something or other, but apparently not.
Shit.
So there you go. There's stories about me. Bartek, he has a dad who's Steven Tyler, who's everybody's dad.
I have a first
That's
cousin.
awesome.
I have a cousin.
Yeah, everybody's dad's Steven Tyler.
I have a cousin who's technically one generation above me, but much younger.
No, I hate when that happens.
It's like my mum's cousin, basically. But
Oh look,
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't have.
look,
that.
it's Viola. And they're
Viola
happy seeing
Davis. I also her name in this is Isabel, and her name in How to Get Away with Murder is Annalise. Like she has very like common, pretty names.
I like how you said common pretty names, but the second one that you just listed off that wasn't Isabel
Annalise.
is not the most common name of pretty names.
I feel like it's kind of in the same vintage.
I've
as
never
Isabel.
heard anyone be called Annalise.
Really? Annalise. You've never heard.
I've
Annalise.
never heard anyone in real life, ever, in our time of life, be called
Yeah, but that's
Annalise.
what I mean. They're both like oldish kind of Victorian names. Like, they
Yeah,
sound
I always,
really-
when I see a strong black woman, I think, yeah, strong Victorian English name.
That's what I mean. Like she always has purposely like.
in conclusion,
White.
she should have been called Bartek.
Look, it's Bartek in this movie.
Bartek's my favorite.
Like,
character.
I'm talking about moisture on lips. I'm really not a fan of Viola's moist lips in this scene. Look how shiny they are. They're kind of
That's
taking
gloss.
away from. I know, there's still moisture there.
Yeah, but it's like on purpose.
Yeah, well, his was on purpose.
It's to arouse.
Are you trying to say, Ryan, she can't be shiny?
I am aroused.
I
by
would
her.
really like Viola Davis plays a ruthless CIA agent, but she just wants somebody to notice her glossy lips.
Isn't that what Tom Cruise's role is?
I
in
mean,
this film?
I mean, Ryan, you have.
Also,
glossy
wait,
lips, so-
his
Yeah, but, like-
wanky face. This entire.
Why are you so mean to him?
Look at his face. He's just like so down.
Now that you
face-
pointed out, it was kind of funny.
His face is like that
For
throughout
the
the whole
entire scene, he
movie.
doesn't move. He's just like open-lipped, like
Fun
looking like a
fact,
dread.
Cameron Diaz just always has a doctor's outfit on call.
Yeah, she has an on-call doctor's outfit on.
Oh,
call.
and what is she wearing on her head?
On call.
A turban, and this was after 9/11, and
And
that
what-
was really turbulent back then.
And what was one of the things we
Turbulent.
noticed earlier? Blonde hair, like the sun, covering the sun, night.
Oh my God,
May.
blue,
Holy shit.
yellow? Oh my god, it's the sun in the sky, and he's the night.
Also, the car that she had, it was a GTO. This is my favorite manga, GTO, is about a teacher. And remember that line you really liked? They're gonna teach him a lesson, or whatever that line was.
Send him
Like,
to school.
Send him to school.
Yeah, take him to school.
I like the soldier guys just like, yeah, alright, whatever. Like, sending it to the mortuary, sure.
Sorry, teach him a lessons from Flipper.
flipper.
Don't worry, Roy. I got this.
So the
So
movie,
intense.
what did you guys think of the ending of this film?
I thought it could have ended right there, but then I realized, they kind of
I'd
want
like
to
the
call
wind
back.
buzzer.
And then what about poor old Paul Dano?
Yeah, where the fuck did he go?
Back to school, probably.
No, they
Back
said
to
that we've got a
school.
little lab for him and he seems happy, but he's still in a dangerous situation because this movie kind of ends with the idea that the CIA are still very, very evil. Like they were going to kill Tom Cruise for
Yeah.
some reason.
Well, because he was supposedly a corrupt CIA agent.
But they know
actually
that
the
he
corrupt one
wasn't.
was the other
Rogue.
dickhead.
But then they know he wasn't, so then they're like, we'll kill you anyway, which is weird.
No, they weren't like, we'll kill you anyway. They were like, you still can't have a family or a life.
No, but then they're like, we're going to put you in a safe location where you'll be safe and make sure
Oh,
that you're stable. And
yeah.
he's like, dun,
Oh my
dun,
god,
dun.
dude, I didn't even realize.
You didn't realize
that.
Viola Davis was
Maybe-
evil? Maybe she was in on it.
He did die. Like they said, safe location, but this is all just what he wanted.
This
to
is
happen.
actually what I thought. I actually thought, is he dead? Because this shot here, where
it's
he was all
very
blurry and then it cuts to
dreamy.
him and he's very like glowing light. I'm like, is he?
angel-like.
And then he turns to the camera and is like, Ryan, you were right, the movie is all on a beach.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then it cuts to his dead body from the missile shot at the beach earlier, and he's like blown across.
Yeah, and it's been
And
from half
she's
the
like-
movie.
And
ago.
she's like cut, and she's like holding his intestines, going, "Why?
Yeah.
Why? You blew him up! You damn
Sorry.
dirty apes! You blew him
Damn dirty apes.
up!" Planet of the Diaz.
I choose shorts.
Hey,
Hey.
can we talk about Cameron Diaz's name? Diaz.
Yeah?
Diaz,
But she's like the
Rose-
widest
Rosa
girl.
Diaz.
But she's like the widest girl in the history. What's her background?
Cinema. I don't know.
I
Maybe
wanna
she's
know.
related to Rosa.
Stop referencing
I love
Brooklyn
Rosa.
999.
But maybe they're related. Like they're both banging.
They're both not
That's it.
the same at all.
They're both
Cameron
good
Diaz
looking.
is very much funnier. Yeah.
That's all that.
In this scene here where they redo, but oppositely, the
Someday.
how did I get in these shorts thing.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have been funny if either A or B, after she says the line of not that I did that,
Cape
either, huh?
Santiago.
Fuck off.
I'm sorry.
Keep going,
Brooklyn
Martin.
Nine-Nine.
Wasn't that a callback to something early in the film?
Yeah, Cape Horn. They wanted to go there.
Oh, cool.
Cape Horn.
Yeah, if it would have been funny if either A, Tom Cruise tried to punch her like she did earlier, or if B,
I thought that too.
or B, she reflexively goes to block but nothing happens.
Yeah. I really didn't care for this ending of the parents. Like, yeah, it's great because you're resolving it. Like, we didn't talk about the fact that Tom Cruise has pretended to be dead to his family, and that's very problematic.
Well, that's part of the job.
No, exactly. It's part of the job. But it's very tragic for his family, and obviously he's made it so that they got money to survive.
And also,
all that,
like,
and that's sweet.
Was that bit meant to be a ticket to like?
Cape Horn, where they're heading to.
Right. So that now the parents are gonna have to deal with the fact that he's
No, that's
fucking
exactly
lied
it,
to them
like-
this whole time.
They're going to have to deal with the revelation that he exists again.
Yeah.
And,
They're gonna see Cameron Diaz again. It's like, you!
and then the dad will be like, I knew that. And then the dad will be sitting there going, I knew this. I knew this.
I'm blind, not dumb.
Yeah, the dad's like, "Fuck you, Margaret." This
See?
whole
See,
time, I
look,
knew I could use a fucking computer.
Eduardo was played by Trevor.
Eduardo.
Trevor Lunas.
So we're going to go to
Natasha Pokrzywski.
reviews and ratings. Bartek, I want to hear your review and rating first.
So we've got here a spy action film starring Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz.
Great pronunciation.
Come on. I love
Sorry, Tom Cruise.
that. Tom Cruise.
Mott Cruise, yeah. So,
Say Cruise backwards now.
cunt. Bartek. Hit me, Bartek.
No, Ryan, I'm not gonna go to your level.
Why are you hitting me? Stop, I'm the victim.
Can vouch.
Can,
Bartek is the
did you say,
I heard it too.
can you say can vouch?
Like-
Or did you say,
I said can vouch, like can vouch for this.
or did you say can vouch?
No, oh my god.
We've talked a lot
that
about Alarna being a sex worker.
It's that whole
and
Australian.
you know what? I
erect
can vouch.
clitorises.
It's all that. It's that whole
vaginas.
Australian brevity thing. Like you say things kind of quickly, but
Go, Bartek, quickly, while we're still on the vag train. Choo choo!
this movie didn't have vag, but it did have a lot of really good things. It had an actor, namely Tom Cruise, known for his action roles, doing another action role here, but more so on a... Usually when there are two leads, sometimes you think of one character as, like, the protagonist, and another character as the... I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but, like, the deuteragonist, like, the second most important character.
Yeah.
In this film, in a way, I think... It's an actual word.
I know, Ryan's so helpful. He's like, yep.
There's also a tritagonist, but
NFI.
not really for this film.
And there's a quadtagonist, which is, when you have 4.
Me.
You do believe me that that's
when I
a
have
real
4
word,
in
though, right?
one.
I will believe you. Come on.
Thank you. And I feel like if you were to look at the poster, you might look at that and think, Cameron Diaz and Tom Cruise. Well, Tom Cruise is the action guy. He must be, like, the protagonist, and Cameron Diaz might be, like, the supporting protagonist, the deuteragonist. But
I love that word. I'm going to use that now.
yeah, I swear to you, it's a real word.
Yeah,
totally believe you.
duty-tagonist.
Ryan!
Duty-tagonist.
Wah, wah. But I think one of the cool things about this film is that's something I walked in assuming, because like I said, I did look at like the
Sorry,
leads.
James Spud.
Yeah, potato.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Oh my
exactly
god,
my
it's Tom
point.
Cruise's potato chisler. It's the guy who made him.
Potato sculptor.
Oh my god, he's a Pinocchio of the potato verse. I just want to be a real live potato.
So I thought the Spud of this film was the lead, but actually
Spud.
it turned out to be Cameron Diaz, and that's not immediately apparent because at the start of the film, what do we see? We follow Tom Cruise looking at her throughout the airport. He's like planning to, run into her and things like that. And it kind of sets us up thinking, yeah, this is the protagonist. But as it goes on, we start developing these trust issues with him, and we're following Cameron Diaz as here comes the term, strong female lead, who might not necessarily start off like that, but as the film develops, she gets there, much like, her, what's the word? Spiritual predecessor, Princess Peach.
Yeah, that's exactly
All
it.
she needed was the pink dress, or does she need it?
Well, she had a pink bikini,
Dun.
which
Yeah,
is
the pink
her,
bikini is the pink
which is
dress.
the interpretation of the famous outfit in this Mario remake.
And Peach's crown, which is obviously the thing in the hospital.
Oh my god, the crown. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And didn't you say that you wanted to put a crown on someone in an image earlier this episode?
Yeah, she gets the Asperger class.
No,
The Asperger
wait, was
king,
that
yeah.
her or was that...
That was
She's the
Paul Dano.
Asperger. She can be the
He's
Asperger queen.
he's the Asperger king.
But I think we have to get onto the topic of why we think this film is unappreciated. And I think one thing we might want to consider is, have you ever heard that argument or sentiment that a certain film would have been received better had it not been titled a certain way?
Yeah.
Namely, that it's not titled to be part of a certain franchise.
Yep.
Like, one example that I can think of is this Halloween 3 I heard was not very well received because it wasn't about Michael Myers.
Yeah.
But apparently it was a decent movie if it wasn't called Halloween 3.
Season of the Witch.
And if it was
Bad
just...
marketing.
If it was-
Season of the Witch.
Yeah, if it was simply called Season of the Witch, which is the subtitle,
Yeah.
then
Great
it
title.
might have been received better. Perhaps this film might have been received better if maybe they somehow tied it into a franchise,
Tom
because
Cruise spy movie.
because sometimes things that
Mission
are,
Improbable.
because sometimes things that are standalone, and we've done a lot of standalone films on this show,
Yeah.
might not be received better because it doesn't have that name recognition. And remember, Alarna, you and I, before we got into the film, we saw the title Night and Day, and
Assumed it was period related.
yeah, something like that. So
As in period piece, not like menstruation.
Not menstruation related.
Which,
Which also occurs in the night and day, so kind of relates.
yeah.
It's a constant thing.
So I don't know. I think there's
So pause and inhale. So anyway.
so I think that this film it's one of those ones that actually is already good, and you can easily point out the good things about it, but I think it just needed a bit more recognition.
Beautiful, man. What's your
Yeah.
rating?
If I had to give this film a rating, I would give it
So much thought in this.
explosive 10 out of 10.
Ooh.
Excellent. Well, I'm
That's
gonna
bad.
go with my review. And
Or alternatively, an explosive pair of Oscars.
nice.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with my review and rating, Alana, and then your lucky blast. And then we'll hit
That's
people.
alliteration, right?
And then we're gonna go on with the IMDb and YouTube comments. But my review.
Bye.
This is an amazing film. I went in with my head held low, to be honest, because of Tom Cruise's reputation. But I also noted down, maybe I should have my head held high because Cameron Diaz is involved. And she's been involved in projects that we've done on this show before. Films where she really did shine. And in this movie, she's a lead. In those other movies, she wasn't a lead. She was a supporting.
In one of them, she was sort of an antagonist for a while.
Yeah, and this film really showcased her comedic talents. She is one of the most underrated comedic actresses of our day. She's beautiful, she's genuine, and it's very interesting to team her up with someone who is known as a beautiful person, but not a genuine person. Tom Cruise. And Tom Cruise, during this period of time I would call the Cruisaissance, he did a period of movies in which he played outside of his type or played around with the image that he has created for himself. Rock of Ages, Tropic Thunder, and this. A wonderful trilogy of films. And, to a lesser extent, Edge of Tomorrow, which was later on where he played a coward. This film really highlighted the things that we all enjoy about a good spy movie. The thrilling elements of it, the ludicrous plot, and the wacky nature, and the fact that the spy and the woman can fall in love through saving the world or saving individuals. That's what we love about James Bond. That's what we love about Jason Bourne. That's what we love about them. This idea that not only did I save the world again, but I also got the girl. And that's what we enjoyed about this movie deep down as well. I think they
Like she got the man.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where the twist is. She got the man. But I think that's it. You know, she found someone very good for her. She's a strong female character, one of the strongest. The thing I think about is today, where TV culture is very prominent as where you get strong characters, and I've noted down that a lot of the strong female characters, especially from television, are more your ball-buster characters, like your Cersei Lannister and you know, characters like that, in which they're more cold and distant.
More bitchy, you might
More
say?
bitchy. Well, a more feminine character that's a really strong female character, like, say, Sansa, gets in Game of Thrones, gets kind of thrown to the wayside because she is still feminine and has foolish ideas of love and innocence. And that's why I think is very interesting. Cameron Diaz falls in that. She's innocent and she's a strong female character at the same time. I think that's what people get wrong about strong female characters. They look at something like Furiosa and they think they have to be this really butch, intense physical presence, while Cameron Diaz proves in her entire career that you can be be very feminine, you can play the romantic in a comedy and still be a strong female character. If I had to give this movie a rating, I would give it female out of empowerment.
Right on, sister.
Alana, you're the girl. Let's hear from you.
Oh shit!
We left you last, of course, because we were more
Alana our
important.
damsel in distress, or is she our strong female character?
Okay.
Is she our Cameron Diaz in Night and Day, or is she our Cameron Diaz in The Green Hornet? Both strong.
Oh my god. Okay. So I'm just strong generally. Well, I
She
think
can lift.
can lift heaps. Get Steve over my head. I lift Steve Buscemi like all day.
He is small.
Yeah, no, so I can't lift a lot. I think that was an interesting wrap up. So thanks for that. Certainly that is a good thing to look at. The fact that not all female leads they're either one or the other. It's very like dichotomous. You're either tough and cold, like you said, or you're not and you're a feminine damsel in distress. So I think they did that right with Cameron in this film. The only thing though that I would have in terms of the feminist angle in this film, Viola Davis's character is pretty much obsolete in this film. She has really no purpose aside from to be like, oops, sorry, I was wrong. And also, Wonder Woman in this film is just a pawn for the actual guy who's the big drug dealer.
Yeah.
Like, it might have been interesting to see a bit more of a, kind of 22 Jump Street? With the drug dealer who's actually the girl.
Okay, yeah,
She's
yeah.
like in there the whole time, or like, you know, I would have actually liked to see her being the villain, but
I will
Spoilers
confess.
alert for 22 Jump Street.
yeah, shit, sorry everyone.
I will confess,
been over 2
I
years.
almost didn't remember who she was. You're like, Wonder Woman's in this one. I'm like, was she?
Right?
Was she
yeah.
only in one scene?
But here's the thing.
Literally, yeah.
You're a feminist. We all are, of course. Isn't it great that you can have a character that doesn't matter if they're a man or a woman and they just get a woman to play it, like Viola Davis? Could have been some scruffy old man who could have easily been played by someone like Bob Hoskins and just
Yeah,
be
we'll
like...
see. But is that then just putting her there as a figurehead position because she's a woman and being like, yeah, cool, let's chuck a woman in there and then it will make us feminists.
But she gets respect.
But does she?
The answer is yes.
Her like number one like person
Betrays
actually
her,
betrayed her.
but-
But like, I mean, her in Suicide Squad, she fucking shoots people. Like, just gets people shot.
Yeah, because she's an asshole.
'Cause
She's
she's
a
a
villain.
boss.
So that's your rating. No, that's
No,
your
sorry,
review.
sorry.
No,
But
Ryan.
generally, I think the first half of this film, I was confused mostly. It was very interesting. But in the second half, you know, they just brought it home with some things I wasn't expecting. You know, Eve falling in love with the dude who she couldn't trust, obviously. You know.
Well, that's why the first half was confusing because we had the trust issues.
Yeah, the trust issues. Once they were resolved, though, it was so like original. The storyline, you know, they fell in love. There was a lot of, you know, there was one thing that was like a huge thing that ended up actually killing them. Similar, you know, like Transformers.
Yeah, very
They
similar.
had that one thing that the big monster wanted back, and when he eventually got it, dead. You know, so it was kind of like a nice twist on the actual on the thing that they were after the whole time. That was good. The wrong person was getting chased by the CIA.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Fucked that up. So that was a good spoiler. I mean, a good twist.
I haven't seen something as beautiful since Date Night with Tina Fey and Steve Carell.
Do you
Yeah.
know that the I in CIA stands for intelligence?
I know you would not know.
More like the CUA.
It should be like
Unintelligence.
Yeah.
Central Intelligence. You know, it should be like Central Intelligence
Arse hats.
Asperger's.
Asperger peasants, not
Yeah.
kings or queens.
No, that's Paul.
Asperger King. So yeah, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of the bagging.
And that would have made it more appreciated.
That would have made it more feminist, yeah.
I think it would have, just really made it more feminist, of course, and yes, more widely appreciated if we did get to see them actually bang. But, you know, aside from that, a totally original, creative movie that really just blew my mind by the end of it. I'm not going to give it the rating of full sex because, you know, because there wasn't any,
Yeah.
but I would give it a solid blowjob from a Canadian prostitute. As
Yes!
a rating, so
That's
Well,
a great rating.
We've
Thank
got
you,
some
yeah.
reviews here from
read
IMDb,
those
Alana,
reviews.
and some comments from YouTube. I've got
Shit, yeah.
6 great reviews here from IMDb. I'm going to read you a couple straight off the bat. This is an 8-star review from 2010, so the movie just came out. Its title is called Surprisingly Enjoyable Escapist Entertainment.
nice.
Critics feared the worst when word surfaced that reshoots, rewrites, and re-edits for this much-delayed, much-troubled film were still going on as late as May 2010, barely 7 weeks prior to its scheduled release. Pre-screenings were limited and thumbs were primed to point down. But guess what? The finished product is surprisingly enjoyable, particularly the rollicking first hour. Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz are obviously having a blast, and anytime they are on screen, the movie's energy and fun levels pegs the meter. The breakneck pace can keep the audience guessing about where Cruise's character is dragging Diaz's reluctant heroine off to next. Kudos to the leads for not carrying the movie with their ever great acting, but also for doing many of their own stunts.
So
then-
true.
I have a 9-star one here, Bartek.
9-star.
Finally, action's back.
Oh.
9 stars, 2010. Finally, a great action flick with a perfect combination of action, humor, story, and romance. The cast was fantastic, and so was the overall feel of the film.
The feel.
I also really enjoyed, however, how every detail wasn't just blatantly explained. I have a brain. Thanks for realizing. Everyone in
Hang
the
on, I
theater.
think I wrote this.
Everyone in the theater. There's actually a review somewhere that I go, Alana wrote this.
This
Hold
one
on.
too.
Everyone in the theater seemed to love it. Lots of laughs.
Oh,
Seriously.
Ooh,
I haven't laughed
seriously.
that much at a movie in a while, and it also kept my complete attention throughout the entire film. And with okay, it kept my entire attention throughout the entire film, and with some serious ADD, that says a lot. so, if I can
You might have
close.
connected with the Asperger's kid, like it.
So if I can close with anything,
and you can.
it's
a
to
review.
just go see this movie. Don't over expect anything because this is my opinion, but definitely see it. I personally think you won't be disappointed.
Boom.
Bartek.
Shakalaka.
These comments from YouTube you have. So did you find them from the trailer,
Yes.
certain
I found it
sections?
from one trailer. I will confess, the very first comment is not from YouTube at all, but every other comment.
He just
after-
made it up.
He's
No,
like,
no.
I wrote
The
it.
first one was immediately below on the
I
video
have
where I
wrote it.
streamed it.
Okay, so you got
I
it from
have
their
noticed.
streaming site, of course.
Yeah, it was like a Facebook comment that I guess was somehow tied to it.
Okay, excellent. Hit us,
And
baby,
that
one more
comment-
time.
And that comment is not by Britney Spears, Ryan, but by a person.
You don't know if it's Britney.
It could be.
I can't believe I can't stand either of these two actors, and this is a great movie. Watch it and shut up, trust me.
Nice.
This guy had a lot of feelings, but, you know...
Maybe
he-
it was related to the, like the religion thing, like we were saying before.
It's difficult.
Well, but he also clearly doesn't like Cameron Diaz, but he likes the
That's
film.
interesting.
Well, we don't know if she's a Scientologist or not. We don't know.
True, true, true.
Her name's Diaz and she's white. Could be anything.
And this next one, though, is a bit more on the nose for what you were just saying. Am I the only who ship this to? Like, they're so adorable in together.
I do ship them.
They're my OTP.
They are.
Alright, guys, starting again. Am I the only who ship this to? Like, they're so adorable in together, and for the fact that they are action stars, great job! And there's a response. So Scientology would kill that.
Oh yeah, see the religion again rears its ugly head.
This one introduces a motif for some of the later comments that I think you'll pick up on. Anyone else watching this after seeing Bang Bang? Bollywood and the singing was so much better, and then he did an emoticon of like this.
Because there
like
was
the
a
okay.
Oh, yeah, it's like
Bollywood
the
version
perfect-
of this movie called Bang Bang.
which we'll learn
There you
later.
go.
Should I read a few more? Or
Yes,
do you want...
hit us, baby, one more time.
2 more, maybe 3 more times.
In our snatch.
He was having a drink when the plane was going to crash.
That's it.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Alright.
He was quite relaxed at that point.
I'll stop you with that because that was such a good one. I've got a negative review here.
Oh,
Now,
no.
sometimes we have to get the negatives out of the way
I want to be objective.
be objective, to see both sides of the coin. Horrible attempt to promote Tom Cruise, 1 star, from 2010.
Savage.
And also, I'd like to note that this was written in Bosnia. This review may contain spoilers, so just watch out, guys.
Okay.
I have to be honest, I expected it. As soon as I saw the poster, I knew Cruise and Diaz? Hell no! But I decided to give it a shot. I will start with what I don't. I will start with what I don't like.
Okay.
This
It
is
looks
a-
like a long review, Ryan.
This is a 1-star review.
Stop.
And then starting with what they don't like. I just find it amusing, like usually they're like, I'll start with the positives so that way you understand where I'm coming from. It's
Yeah.
like, I'll start with what I don't like. Almost everything.
Woo, this could be long.
Is that in there?
Yeah, almost everything. As soon as the movie started, I knew I'm going to suffer for the next 109 minutes. The movie has so many flaws, and the acting was at the level of some 90s soap operas. Stupid, empty dialogues and childish looks gave me the feeling someone wanted to put 2 adults to play teenagers. The story? Very disappointing. Our dear Cruz somehow failed to leave the impression of a secret agent, probably because he was always trying to show that smile of his which made him an actor. While Diaz showed that she still can't act any further than whining and showing her fake teeth.
They're pretty good teeth, though, no defense. I would show them too.
Also, I don't think real secret agents steal the most expensive cars to drive around. Now, for the worst part. Explosions and bullets. Yeah, I get it. Explosions are a must in action movies. Great! But this movie had the most idiotic ways to use explosions and bullets. Warning! Spoiler alert ahead. I stopped counting at 5 billion bullets fired, and then... and then all of a sudden, even though he used the past 100 minutes to avoid bullets, Cruise walks slowly through a shower of bullets fired from automatic guns without getting hit.
That's true.
Come on! End of spoiler.
Okay.
The explosions counter wasn't really busy, but my brain almost exploded because of the stupid way the movie used explosions. Like, spoiler! The airplane crash. End of spoiler. And now...
To be fair, that one was kind of funny.
And now for the good stuff. After watching 109 minutes and suffering from different kinds of nervousness, I managed to find something that is great in the movie. Number 1. The cars.
Agreed.
Everyone loves to see old timers, whether they're wrecked or look like new. They're beautiful. Number 2. Major spoilers. The sentence, someday is an excuse for never. It really hit me.
That was on the plane, yeah.
And
like
they included, it really hit me. End of spoiler.
I particularly like your delivery of that. That was.
I regret spending my money on such an awful movie.
Gee, that was really.
Is that one of the best parts?
And that was it.
Oh, that's
That's the end of the review. And then, Bartek, I'm going to read one more because you're going to love this. It's a 9-star.
Ooh.
From 2014, nonetheless. Remember that year, 2014.
2014.
How many years is that after
3.
the film?
Oh,
4.
it's 4.
4.
Night and Day is an action-filled comedy with elements of sexiness. He takes off his top. Wink, wink. That's the title.
That was the title.
Oh, wow, it is 2 lines long.
Sexy.
Night and Day was a really great film. I bloody loved it. From the moment they met to the moment it ends, the film had me on the edge of my seat. I just wanted them to be romantically linked, and the tension and my anxiety throughout the movie paid off when their lips met. Well, I think they kissed. I watched it 4 years ago.
I guess twice, buddy.
I watched it 4 years ago.
Smiley face. Smiley face. Tom Cruise's motorbike was amazing, and even 4 years later, I still wish he could take me on a ride.
Oh.
Cameron Diaz is a lucky woman. Night and Day is a good movie. Watch it. Or die.
Wait, the next bit.
He wrote, and then, P.S. Love you, Tom.
I like how you asked us how many years apart it was, but he said it.
That's exactly what I wanted you to
also-
remember.
I wouldn't understand that person's mindset because I feel like you watch a movie and then you go 4 years and then say, I think I should write a review of it
Bartek,
now.
hit us with a good amount.
This next comment is so positive, the film should thank it.
Oh, okay.
Well, I really liked the movie. It was entertained.
I'm sorry. It was?
It was.
So it should thank him.
Okay.
Now, we brought up Bang Bang before.
Ah, good. My favorite
There
activity.
were... You would not believe that most of the comments in this comment section for the trailer were shitting on this movie, comparing it to Bang Bang.
Because there was no Bang Bang. What's the problem?
The first one though was a more confused comment. In all caps.
Love him.
What is this Bang Bang everyone keeps talking about? Well, yeah.
What is it?
And the next comment.
What is it? Bang, bang, Alarna.
That was the whole comment.
Take that out of context.
What is this Bang Bang?
What is this bang bang everyone's talking about?
Take out that section of the podcast, send it to your sister. And
Says
like,
some 9-year-old on the internet. What bang bang? And then
Bang Bang?
someone should reply to that. Be like, www.redtube.com.
www.porn.com.
Yeah.
Just porn.
It's very on the nose. Next comment. I liked more Bang Bang than this because I can't understand English.
Still no were they
I
blind.
still
but-
think the best part of these reviews is the delivery of the laugh typing. Ha ha ha.
The ha 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 was its own sentence, by the way.
That was the hee was the start of its own paragraph.
He's my favorite. Oh, Jesus.
Go on, give us some more. Here, please.
Whoa, bang bang, any day better than this. Anyways, can someone let me know or send me links state img if Bang Bang's storyline is the same as this one or copied from this movie? I will be very disappointed, cause Bang Bang trailer is just way awesome. I almost added a more then. No, just way awesome.
It was way awesome.
The next one.
Oh, fucking hell.
I like how in the train scene she chooses to throw an apple instead of a knife, lol. Many dots later, this movie is horrible.
When did you throw an apple?
Never. In the trailer, probably. I'm going to read a review here, Bartek. I have 2 left. I want to read one, and then you finish up your stuff, and then I have one last one, which really sums up everything.
I've got 7 comments left.
Oh, good. That's alright.
Do you want me to do more now? Or...
No.
Okay.
I love this movie. 9 stars. From 2014 as well.
Oh, 2014 again.
Now, this review may contain spoilers.
Be prepared.
First, the only reason I gave it a 9 instead of 10 stars, it's great. It's great fun, but it's not life-changing. That's it. Now down to business. The film is a prime example of either you get it or you don't. If you go with the clearly tongue-in-cheek approach, you love it. The sillier it gets, the more you love it, especially when it plays the silliness so straight, which is the best way to go. Act as if it's all normal and it's hilarious. Act as if you're being funny and it's just painful. But Cruise is really just so darn _polite _ at all times. They put
So done, polite, at all times.
Yeah.
Can they not do bold or italics on
No.
DVD?
Please,
Yeah,
June, just open the door. Blam, blam. I really need you to open the door. Blam, blam, blam. That's a lovely dress, by the way. Come on, even paraphrased. How funny is that? Some people dislike some people dislike the action scenes, such as the glimpses of a drug June sees during their escape to the island, even suggesting they were taken out for budget reasons. Well, maybe, but to me, they were the perfect antidote to the equally far-fetched but overproduced sequences in most action movies. Ooh, the hero is hanging upside down by his heels, but assures us he's almost free. Wham! Somehow he is. How? We never know.
How?
We never know, but by then it's on the next action movie trope. Helicopter? And the next question mark. And the next until finally we arrive in paradise. For me, the characters were as convincing as and real as they could be within this winking universe. The Winkverse, I would call it. And I have watched this movie several times just for the pleasure of seeing Cruz and Diaz circle each other until they become a true fighting unit. They've both got skills.
They've both got skills.
Is that in the review?
Yep.
Wow.
Bartek.
Yeah?
That's so beautiful.
Last 7 comments?
Yeah.
Do it. Hit us.
Blast me.
This one has 2 replies.
Great.
Already watched the movie 20th time in my life. Waiting for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bang bang! Response, it's from the same person.
When you got no
Thanks to 20th Fox for making films that can be watched 20th times. ! Smiley face.
Aww.
One last response from the same person.
Yay.
Or more than that, @lol. With the both L's being capitalized but not the O.
Oh no.
I think that Tom Cruise' best move is this one. I love it.
I think it's his best move too.
This next one,
Particularly him hanging upside down. It was pretty good.
That's a really good move.
this next one, you need to hang on for the end
Oh,
because
hanging on.
don't just immediately think that it's over because there's an ending.
Literally grasping the table.
And I'll point out all the characters that aren't letters. This trailer is sexist. ... Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, lol. So basically this trailer is sexist.
How funny is
Lol.
that? Oh
This trailer is sexist. Lol.
Yes, you end on a ... but then you get like 5
It's
exclamations.
like they were really trying not to laugh about it. They were holding it in, then it was like, fuck, it's just really funny, I'm sorry.
Guys, this next comment, it says, pretty good movie, right up there with Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah.
And there's a response, yes, exactly what I thought. And there's some people, in the same opinion. Now, the last 2 comments, they're both by the same person, but they're not responses to each other. But they were immediately next to each other.
Oh,
Two
good.
separate comments.
Yeah, let's say.
I don't know which order they're in, but I'm just reading them in the order I found them. Sorry about that. And please refrain from verbal mental abuse. Profanity does not suit our godly minds.
Is this one of the, like,
Scientology.
And his other comment is, top movie, mate. Though it says in that good book, we're not really spies. Winky smiley face.
I'm sorry, what? We're not what spies?
Rally.
Really, but with one L.
Oh, rally spies.
Reality
Now,
spies.
guys, I've got the review from I usually say that these reviews come from a different dimension, but this review comes from a different country, Belgium. Everyone's favourite Belgium. Now, the words, there will be certain
Belgium.
words that have been censored out in this review that,
Did you censor them?
no, they are censored with an asterisk. So
Okay.
fuck has got just
Yes,
FU.
asterisk.
And then a word later, which will make sense in context, but just know what they're saying. This word is also censored. Okay, so this is from Belgium, written in 2017. Our freshest review thus far. This is "Get the fuck out, detractors."
Does it have a rating?
No.
Just no rating.
This movie was a great piece of intellectual entertainment. Oh, you freaking mental midgets. And then masturbators was not allowed. God bless Hollywood, who cannot fathom something new, different, or original. Need to get a life.
Okay, I'm like so confused by that entire sentence.
Yeah, okay, so they couldn't use masturbators, was not allowed. God bless Hollywood, who cannot fathom something new, different, or original need to get a life. This is new. Get S freaking life. Nobralists, 3 stars.
Nombralists. Did they mean like get shit frigging?
Well, I mean, to look at the keyboard, S is right next to A.
Oh,
So
yeah.
get A life.
Get S freaking life. Nobralist, 3 stars. Brilliant film with a captivating couple that carry us into our wildest fantasies. And then this makes real sense. That carries us into our wildest fantasies. You others? Like, that's a question, but I can't answer that.
The detractors.
You others?
The detractors.
Wait, but it makes sense. You others? Get a life! This thing.
They're very direct.
This thing is a joke! Whatever happened to the First Amendment? Only
From Belgium?
Belgium's First Amendment.
only if it suits the powers that it would appear. What absurd rule they have here! See, it's rhyming. Language is censored in film, but not in life. Can't would run these assholes ragged. And that's the end of the review.
He should really know that we are not reality spies.
No, we are not reality spies.
We're detractors. So,
obviously.
Alana, that's it.
Holy shit.
That was
Your first episode.
night and day. Alana Summers, you got to join us.
was
You brought
delightful.
the sunshine into our winter.
I brought the day into your night.
Oh! You guys have been fantastic, amazing, wonderful listening people. Bartek, I think we really delivered a handful of goodness this episode, with the thanks,
Just like the good
with the
book.
thanks of our guest, and of course the film's content. You guys enjoy Night and Day. Enjoy. I hope you enjoyed what we had and had not to say about this movie. If you do want to support us, you can if you like. You don't have to do it. I mean, it would be nice. We've got Facebook, YouTube, iTunes. They're all under Spit and Polish Presents. Follow those. Like the posts on the Facebook and the YouTube. Comment if you feel that you want to. And hey, on iTunes, you can give us a rating and a review of your very own. I mean, you could come up with a witty rating choice of your own. I mean, they force you to do 5 stars, but you could say, I give you a spit out of polish, and I'm sure that's original. Because no one said it thus far, so if you say it first, then you're going to be the one who's got the hot tip. So,
Give it an Asperger King rating.
yeah, if you give
Or a
it,
queen.
if you get an Asperger out of King, then you nailing it like Christ. So, you guys have been fantastic, amazing, wonderful listening people. Lana, fantastic to have you on. Bartek, fantastic to work with you. And
Right back at you.
guys, remember to be kind to each other.
And always...
Lay on straight.
Get it done.
Get it, son.
Now edit in explosions in the background. And bullets. Because it's an action film. Those are good explosions.
That was my
actions
best
and
attempt at listening.
No, you heard bullets earlier. It was blam, 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 blam.
I'm
pretty sure the comments said bang bang, Ryan.
No, they said
Bang, bang
blam,
into
blam.
the room.
You know that the male lead of Bang Bang, Kritik Roshan, has actually been mentioned once on the show before?
Bang.
Back in our Bend It Like
Dear
Beckham
brain.
episode.
And that's a Bollywood fact.
yeah.
And
It was back
it's
in
now
our-
got an extra 3 minutes.
In our Bend It Like
It never ends.
In our Bend It Like Beckham episode, you asked, hey, who's that guy on the poster in the main girl's room? And I was like, I think it looks a bit like Kritik Roshan.
Boom.
Fun fact.
Just called bang.
Well,
Fun fact about him, his thumb, is from the knuckle, he's got 2.
Well, guys,
looks like a thumb.
make sure that you use your thumbs to point up.
And your other fingers contract into a fist.
Yeah.
No, you can hold your fingers out like normal. Just have your thumb up.
you
It's
do-
still positive. Like-
No!
no, it's a handshake.
You just need to Google Tom Cruise thumbs up and you'll know exactly what we're talking about. It makes sense.
Also, Kritik Roshan thumbs.
Also that. Hit the crush on thumbs.